Okay, so Anna, we do a thing so I can sync it in editing. I will count down from 3, and then after 1.
Yeah. Wait.
What?
It's already recording. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Sorry.
This is called a clap sync. So I will count down from 3, and then after 1, so on 0 essentially, you clap, so that I can sync it in editing.
Okay. Oh god, I'm nervous.
It's fine. You just have to clap.
It's just a clap. It's just a clap.
Yeah, okay. It's a clap in time.
All right.
Easy clap.
Okay.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Never heard from again. No, he's cut. We haven't started yet.
Oh, okay.
All of this is going to be cut. Yeah. All of this is going to be cut. Sealion will introduce
some of it.
Oh boy.
What do you mean some of it? Now I'm conscious. Yeah. I usually chat shit in these opening 2 minutes.
Hang on. Where's the fucking...
As opposed to the other 120 minutes. No, I always chat shit. What am I talking about?
This is going to be great.
Oh yeah, definitely. As soon as I find the fucking page where I wrote my notes for prior.
Wait, you actually have notes? Where you're fucking professional.
Yeah, I have some.
I try to be, but
not many though.
I try to be professionally.
They're all about Fallout. The only subjects I write notes about is Fallout for 3 weeks in a row now.
Well, actually, personally, for me, my one Fallout note is Fallout 76, and then equals sigh.
Nice.
Yeah. Actually, no, I do have notes about Artifact as well. A few, not much.
Good, cool.
I don't have any notes. I hope that's okay.
Well, we didn't know you were coming on until an hour ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello. Oh, God's sake! Already. Wow. All right. Hey, welcome to the Metal Ear Podcast. I am the resurrected nightmare of a penis with a hook hand, Sealion. With me is the slutty teenager who gets killed in the first encounter with the monster, Trip.
These get better every week.
Oh, good. I'm glad you think so. I prep these now. I'm actually writing them and shit. And also joining us this week is the character who will likely survive the entire movie because she's the biggest virgin character ever, AnnaHighwind.
I don't know if I should take this as a compliment or an insult.
I mean, you survived the monster attack. That's a good thing.
But do I want to?
Okay, where is this going?
So you're saying you either die losing your V card or you live long enough to be the biggest virgin?
Yeah,
I mean, those last two people in Cabin in the Woods, just bonk at the end of the world.
Yeah, but who wants to? You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I get what I'm picking up what you're putting down, Anna.
Yeah, and the thing is, do I want to live on with that PTSD? So
PTSD of not having had sex.
I meant actually, surviving a fucking monster attack, but yeah, let's go with that.
Let's go with that.
So, okay. Either way, you're living on with some sort of PTSD of some sort of penis.
Yeah, sure. Oh, God.
Sure.
This is a great start, by the way.
Oh, we start like this every week.
I dig it.
Yeah. Through no fault but my own. I'll admit.
Wait. Guys, should I say I dig it? I'll stop. Why did you invite me again?
Thank you for joining us for the Metal Ear Podcast next week.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. Oh god.
By the way, we should probably state Volk will not be joining us this week. He's got prior engagements with his family, and we wish him the best. But yeah,
Hey, Volk.
this week we have the incorrigible AnnaHighwind on our humble little podcast.
I'm a
She's
little bit nervous.
She's a streamer friend of ours, and she's never done this before, so she's nervous. It's adorable.
Don't call me adorable. What the fuck, Sea Lion?
Call you whatever the
It's
hell
true
I like.
though.
Fuck you. You throw money at me. I'm allowed to say shit.
You throw money at me as well. Can I now call you Pup Lion again?
I'm pretty sure we all throw
No.
money at each other for no reason.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
We're just
Lion
idiots, aren't we?
anyways.
Jesus Christ. Right. Well, I don't know about you guys, but my week's been pretty good. Pretty good on my end. But I'll be a gracious host and open the floor to our guest, Anna. How's your week been? What have you been doing?
It's been crazy, actually. So, I don't know, some of you may or may not know, I'm currently in the middle of moving. So this is basically my last week at home. And I tried to say goodbye to my cats, but my cats are not in a cuddly mood anymore. So, I tried to, cuddle with them, and then they just looked at me with, the usual cat fuck off face.
Mm.
So that was absolutely lovely.
Yeah, because I think they're
Probably
probably
realise
going to
that
see
you're
you
moving
tomorrow.
But it's at least I actually got to say bye, I guess. But no, for real. I was playing some Stellaris actually with some friends. It's actually a really neat strategy game. Well, it's a little bit like Civ, just like in space. So I guess it's a little cooler.
I'm interested.
it's amazing, actually.
I haven't heard of this. Yeah, Stellaris. I'm writing this down.
But doesn't Civ have like a? I don't know if it's DLC or a separate game or a mod, but I remember hearing something about Civ in space.
It has a spin-off game called Beyond Earth or something. It's shit. It's actual tripe.
Stellaris is really good. I have to say, I had some good hours with a few mates, and that was actually pretty much the only gaming experience I had this week, except of Warframe, which I have to admit, I have been playing it a little bit too much also on stream. And I'm currently, getting a little bit burned out on it.
The grind is real.
Yeah, I don't really have anything exciting for this week, if I'm being honest, so I will just, give this further to either Trip or Sealion, whoever wants to go first.
Trip, go.
Well, my week's been fucking shit, to be honest. In terms of games, though, we'll get the games out of the way. The only good thing this week has been Darksiders 3 release on Tuesday, which I was fucking hyped for. And so far, I love the game. I streamed it for, I think, about 6 hours total now. So far, I am really enjoying the game. It is fantastic. It looks great. It feels good. There are a few mechanics that are frustrating. Like that, I guess it's antagonized on apocalyptic difficulty as well. But and also I'm still getting used to the game. But there are one or two things that are quite annoying. But then again, every game has those things. Overall, I am still humongously enjoying the game. And apart from that's basically been my entire gaming week. The rest of it has been uni, because uni is fucking shit right now. And not only did we get another coursework assigned this week, which literally is due after Christmas, so we have December to do it, which is fucking shit of them already. But one of our lecturers doesn't. It turns out he doesn't have a clue what he's doing, and it's gotten so bad that the course reps from 3 different years have drafted a formal letter of complaint to the head of department because it's actually ridiculous what's going on. So just it's a long story. I'll summarize. But essentially, he is new to this is the first time he's taught this course in lecture. He knows the stuff, but it's the first time he's taught this course. But his lecture notes are terrible. He's meant to be doing so that the lectures are 3-hour slots. He's meant to be doing about an hour and a half, 2 hours of content, and then an hour of like a tutorial on a software called Simulink. And Simulink is like a simulation software for control systems, where you like build systems for controlling robotics and stuff like that. and none of us have ever touched Simulink before because we've never done robotics before, so none of us have any experience with it whatsoever. And he was meant to be teaching us the basics of Simulink the first 4 or 5 weeks or so, an hour every week. He didn't, and instead extended the lectures to 3 hours and just went on about mathematical equations and shit that no one cares about and are not going to be asked in the exam. So then the coursework comes along. Not only is the coursework fucking vague as shit, but I would say 60 to 70% of it is based on Simulink. So none of us have any idea what we're doing. It's due next Tuesday, and I know that so there are 4 parts to the question, and I know some people that are still stuck on part 1 because his notes are shit and the lectures are absolute bollocks. Then, up until then, it's just a shit lecturer at that point, and we learn in our own time. We like Google shit and try and figure it out ourselves. But it got worse when he said, "I'm going to be in my office from 2 till 4 on Wednesday to answer any questions about the coursework and maybe help some people." So, me and a few friends, actually it was a lot of people, but me and a few friends went to his office on Wednesday at 2 o'clock on the dot to find a note on his door saying, "I may be a bit late, maybe 3 o'clock, 3:30. So, and then it turns out he didn't turn up until 10 past 4 anyway. So he sent out multiple emails saying, "Yeah, I'll be there by 2 till 4." And he never showed up until after 4, and some people had to go. So the entire point of like helping us, quote unquote, was just, it was bullshit. Like, it wasn't there. And
is there like, yeah, I don't know, is there a chance to report it or like? I don't know.
So there are 3 types of students on this course. There's 4th and 5th year electronic engineers, which is me, 3rd year mechanical engineers, and MSc students. So the course reps, Sealion, at uni you have like a course rep for the year, like a medium.
Yeah, I'm the course rep.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. So there are 2 course reps from MSc and mechanical engineering actually in the module, trying to learn this shit. And I live with the course rep for our year. So I literally said, we were discussing it Wednesday when he wasn't there. Like, do we want to take this further? And the unanimous answer was yes. So yeah, the course reps are now communicating with each other and are gonna fucking draft a letter of complaint to the head of department because it's just unacceptable. And then there's this meme which was made in our group chat, and those are one of the course reps is in the background there. But that was literally us. That was our faces when this happened, and we were just going, "What is this? What is this bollocks?"
Yeah. I can imagine, especially if it's like this important and you have to have it like done within a week, and like I don't know.
Yeah, it's worth 20% of our. Well, that's just the coursework. The fact that his teaching is so fucking vague and like nonsensical as well. It makes me really scared for the exam as well.
Is he young?
No, he looks to be in his 50s.
That is like even more, like if he was young, I would understand that he's a little bit of a greenhorn. But if he's like already like in his 50s, I know he should.
No, he's definitely taught courses before, just not this one in particular.
Okay.
But that's not really any excuse.
No, it's really not.
Especially saying that you're going to be you're going to be there to like a little workshop and then fucking not. Oh, and also his help that he actually gave to the people that were there was entirely contradictory to itself. I don't think he knows the coursework he set us, to be honest, because one of the things he says, someone was like, again, I'm getting into too much detail about how the control system actually works, but essentially we were given some pre-made files and we have to build around them. And he says, "Oh yeah, please don't edit the files." The pre-made files that we give to you. And he goes on to say, "Oh wait, no, you have to make sure to convert from degrees to radians in one of the files, otherwise it won't work." So it's a blatant contradiction.
Like he has no idea what he's saying.
It's not the only one, because he said also there's no report to write. You just need to submit your code and some graph plots. And later on, he's when someone asked him, "What about the gains for the controller? Like because you can amplify signals by certain amounts." So it was like, what kind of games do we select? Because there's nothing about that in the briefing. It's like, oh no, just tweak around with the values, see what thinks you work best, and then put your results in the report. And we were like, wait, what report?
Yeah,
He's just not consistent.
Christ.
He doesn't know what he's doing, and quite frankly, it's screwing all of us right now.
Yeah, it's definitely fucking. I don't know. It's a no-go in my opinion. Like I think a professor or like I don't know, like some. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've had experience with a very shitty tutor. Luckily, it didn't actually really count towards any grades or assignments in that. Well, it did, but no, I'm completely lying. It did. Basically, when I was in college, I was doing media. I was doing a BTEC in film and TV production, and we had a guy. I won't name his name for obvious reasons. But we had a tutor in who was, oh god, every time if he was in, he was always really late, and when he was in, he did jack shit. So our course was surprise, especially considering what I do, was editing. His primary unit was editing videos. And what we did with him was the very start, I mean the first 2 weeks, and then that was it. The very start of the year, he came in late, and what he did was he told us to go on the specific folder on the sort of network file on the little computer systems and that, take some footage and edit it together to basically be what you like. Some people did sort of a horror-y sort of a thing. I was one of them who did that. Other people just sort of memed it a bit. Others sort of just made it a weird, kind of music video sort of thing. But basically, the gist was just take it and mess around in Premiere Pro, doing whatever you like to the video and audio bits of it. Yeah, experiment, mess around, see what does what. And after that, he would basically turn up, say, sorry I'm late, say, crack on with whatever other units you need to do, and he would sit there doing God knows what on his own computer. And most of the time, a lot of the time, actually, he just wouldn't show up at all. Occasionally other tutors, and sometimes our head tutor, who was a brilliant tutor, would come in and go, where's so-and-so? And we would go, not in,
idea.
Or late, or somewhere else,
It's fucking terrible.
He got forced basically to I don't think it was a sabbatical, but he got forced to go and basically learn work etiquette in terms of showing up and doing work. He got forced to that, so we had a substitute, and that substitute that replaced him deserved the guy who was the neglected tutor's job. He was absolutely amazing. He wanted to start up help us write scripts for future assignments and that, tell us sort of teach us how to write in script format, handy things to do in terms of editing. He was so properly into it. He had experience. He was great to get on with. And right when we were getting around to gearing up to start doing those things, the slacker idiot came back, and everything just kind of got thrown out the window because the substitute left. And we all hated that slacker, because that's just what he was. It was just an absolute waste of space. Didn't do his job that he was being paid for.
Yeah.
And he would just often not turn up at all. And then it gets towards closer to the end of the year, and it's right, it goes, right, so your unit assigned to me for me to teach you guys basically just involves uploading a little sort of highlight compilation sort of a thing of what you've been editing over all your units, and to write a report about it. And he said this, what was it, 3 weeks I think before the entire first year had finished.
Jesus.
And that was a 2-year course, and throughout the entire second year he literally did nothing at all, absolutely jack shit. And he told us that, and everyone was pissed off with him. And I was the student rep there as well, and literally I was one of the time where he just didn't show up at all, and the head tutor was right, well, we're gonna have a word with Alec. We're gonna have a word with him, and we're gonna have a word about it. But I'm gonna bring us to higher ups because this is ridiculous. And the head tutor looked to me and was like, do you want to bring something about it from the student perspective? I looked at everyone knowing that everyone would be just going yes. And as I looked around the room, it's like, I don't even need to ask. Yes, we're bringing this up. So I had to attend a meeting with him, the head tutor, the slacker, and some people from the administration department of the college, and basically be like, you're not doing your job, the fuck gives. And also, I won't go into like why he just did what his excuses was, because most of them were just nothing excuses, and then the other ones like sounded to me like a complete lie and an arse pull. He told us he was suffering with drug abuse.
But
yeah,
like,
so I didn't believe him for a second when he said that, but at the same time, the college was like, oh, best to play it safe and say, yeah, okay, but yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get fired, and I wouldn't be surprised if he, as of this recording, has gotten fired. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. He was a complete fucking lazy dickhead and did not strike me as the kind of person to ever have experienced a drug before in his life, let alone be addicted to one.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Like, we currently, like, we have an IT class in my, like, where I'm going to school to at the moment as well. But it's, like, not a major subject for us, because it's just like we need to learn how to do certain things, how to edit certain letters and all that for business purposes and all that. And we get taught some stuff, and our teacher for IT is he just doesn't give a fuck. Which is
you've mentioned him before, I think.
Yeah, and my problem is just like, I don't mind helping others because I'm rather good at IT and all that, because I'm just interested. I don't mind helping others, but I cannot help the whole class with everything. And this should also not be expected from me or any other student. He gets fucking paid for it, so just like, do your goddamn job instead of sitting there browsing through his next holiday plans whatsoever, or just blaming us for him suddenly having a bad mood again, because he did that as well. And I don't know, they're just like certain teachers, like you mentioned, like your tutor or also yours, Trips, they just infuriate me, because they get paid, so just do your goddamn job. And if you're not up for it, or if you then, try to search for excuses like drug abuse or anything like that, if it was an excuse, of course, it just seems so, I don't know, some people actually rely on that. Some people need that education, and that kind of stuff really pisses me off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is the thing. I reckon I know more about editing than he does right now.
Probably.
Like, and I've floated around with the idea in my head of like, hey, what if I get to an extent where I know how to edit well enough that I could like teach it? That would be good for like a regular job. I'd happily do that. But at the moment, I don't think I'd have to know how to do a job. But at the same time, I think I'd know a hell of a lot more than that guy does.
I mean, I saw your editing skills. They're pretty neat. So,
yeah.
Cheers, mate.
There you are. But you wanted to also talk about your week, didn't you? Wink, wink.
Oh, are you done with your week trip?
Yeah, that's about it.
No, fair enough.
It's just that.
Yeah. No worries. And we'll get on to a bit more about Darksiders 3 as we get into the news bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
But my week's been pretty fucking good. We basically, my Thursday lecture kind of got cancelled, but still I had to do a different thing for it, which I happily did. It was a good little thing. Basically, sometimes tutors will in universities and that will have something called a periodic review, where student reps go to a little meeting and talk to higher ups, essentially people who are in charge of any changes on the course. So people like that are basically in charge of different departments. In our little meeting, it was us, the creative writing lot. We had English literature and one or two others. And we just went. That was in the other campus for the uni, which is like 2 towns over, which is fine. I don't mind long travels and that. And I went there and I did that. Immediately afterwards, went to the pub for some drinks. Some of my tutors bought me some drinks. We had a good laugh and a chat and that. So that was good. Also, it was kind of like I kind of used it as an excuse to get away from my screen because I felt like not looking at my screen that for most of that day. So yeah, did that. That was good. My new camera came in. The one I got from the Black Friday sale on Amazon, the Logitech. It's very, very nice. Making my streams look way better than it used to.
HD Lion.
The HDness in full
good,
1080p. Cheers. But yeah, it's fucking brilliant. I love it. I can actually key myself out with the green screen without it looking like utter shit. Thank God. Other than that, I've been playing some more Spyro 2. Opinions are still on that, as like what I said last week. Love the visuals, don't like the voice acting, and yeah, other than that, it's pretty fucking good. Other than that, I played a little bit of Need for Speed Payback again on a stream, just from like that was the same day that I came back from the meet and stuff, and I was like, I just want to unwind and shit. And I actually didn't check. I meant to check whether or not that game still had any microtransactions or loot boxes in it. No, that's right, I did check. I checked by accident. That game still has that in. But it didn't really occur to me, like, when I first played that game, like, sort of, not on release, but kind of close-ish. I remember buying it on sale. I think it was, like, half price or something. That game is the most, like... You know when you, like, pick up a game, and maybe it doesn't have microtransactions in it anymore, but you could still feel that they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I still get that with Need for Speed Payback. The same way I still get that with the things like Shadow of War and that.
Yeah.
Like, how you upgrade your car is you either, like, do races or, like, such and such to basically... You pick a random card that is essentially a performance upgrade. And then you can, obviously, you could equip it for, to your car, or you can trade it in for, like, a card point that if you get 3 of, you can go to like a little shop and like spend 3 card points to get another card, like you could, all this sort of stuff. But it's mostly the card like aesthetic that is the biggest signifier of, hey, this thing has had microtransactions in it, and it just feels. It feels physically repulsive to touch it whilst holding the controller. It's one of those things.
I know.
Which is a shame, because I used to really, really like the Need for Speed games, and just now it's every one of them since, I want to say, like, after the Hot Pursuit reboot, everything has just felt like weird, because the last couple of developers have been Criterion, who used to make the Burnout games, and after that was Ghost, which were a lot comprised of a lot of ex-Criterion members, and it, like, there hasn't been a Burnout game since Paradise, and Paradise is the only one I've actually played. But
Paradise was good.
Yeah, but like I can feel when I go back and play Paradise, I can feel where everything from the Burnout games started going into the Need for Speed games. Like I felt it whilst playing Hot Pursuit on the PS3 back in the day.
That was also a good game, actually. I really enjoyed the hell out of it.
It was a very good game. I liked the, like, play as a cop, and you had all these gadgets, like, stuff added to it. That was fun. That was genuinely, like, good to play. But it just, like, felt like they were trying to blend a lot of the Burnout things into Need for Speed. But you can't do that, because Need for Speed not just from, like, a fan's perspective of, like, no, different games. It's more, like, I guess it's more legally important from that perspective. It's the thing of, like, licensed car companies don't tend to like it when you put their cars in a game where your car can get damaged or, like, explode, or, like, parts fly off of them. And that was if not one of the biggest, if not the main, then one of the biggest signifiers for the Burnout series. Is that you would purposely crash your car to do cool crash stuff. And they started putting it in Need for Speed, and it was like a very, very watered-down version. It's just, your car would look a little bit beat up. Like, no bumpers would fly off, the fucking car wouldn't, like, change shape because it's been rolling, like, upside down through a highway
20
for
times.
like 5 kilometers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, it just felt watered down and kind of, like, pissy, and, like, what was the point? All it's doing is wasting time from, like... All it's doing is showing me this, like, these camera angles when it's wasting my time when I should be in the race, you know, getting back in it and stuff. And it's just gotten to the extent where it's like, wow, EA aren't going to make another Burnout game, are they? And I don't like this new Need for Speed. A lot of what I really don't like about the new Need for Speeds, and a mate of mine, Dan, formerly on the Session Dan channel, is on the same boat as me of, I hate the lazy drifting. I hate that you can just, like, tap the R2 button and go into a drift, and you'll, like, a lot of the time, not lose any speed going around a corner, and it just doesn't feel as skill-based as it used to, because it's not. It's just... It feels like a massive cop-out to try and just, like, get the widest possible demographic to play the game enough where they could possibly milk them for more money, and it's just like it's just it's game design that I hope that will not hold up.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's how much dollar they can make.
Yeah, well, it's EA. They're kind of known for it now, would you believe?
Like, the thing is with EA, right? I kind of hate them, but I also kind of love them. And, like, don't get me wrong, I don't love them for what they are doing, like their whole business concept and all that, because I despise it. But they just have, like, one of my absolute favorite game series, and it's Sims. Also, I know it's very stereotypical, but I love Sims.
No.
There's
a huge following for Sims. This is the thing. EA loves making buttloads of money, and this is something Nerdcubed has always said, and I wholeheartedly agree with it. EA are fucking idiots because they own the Sims IP. If they put The Sims 1 with all of its DLC up on, be it Steam or the Origin or Good Old Games, whatever, they would make a truckload of money. Do you know how much fucking DLC there is for Sims 1?
Yep.
It's huge. They would make truckloads of money, and they don't do it, and yet they like making money. It's incomprehensible.
It's a lot more DLC than there is in Sim 3, and I know that Sim 3 with all of its DLC was put on sale recently, like 80% off, and it was still almost $100.
What?
It was still almost $100.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Oh no, it was certainly it was. That's the thing. It was like 80% off, but the entire bundle was still about $100. It's insane.
Because
it's
it's that much DLC.
Yeah, like the other day, because I don't know, I kind of got into the mood to play like Sims 4 again, and you can have Origin access with, which I have to say is actually a pretty neat deal. So like you basically can rent games for like I think $4 a month. So you have like an actual library of games you can play for that whole month. And they also have Sims in there, but it's like Sims without the DLCs, obviously. And I kind of got in the mood, but I wanted to play, the one with the pets, because I also want to have a little cat running around in my new house, even though I would actually not play the story mode of it. I would just build the house and then I would be done with it. Either way, I wanted to have a cat. And I just, I was curious, so I calculated all of it. And Sims 4 doesn't even have all the DLCs yet. So, like, they are still working on like, releasing more stuff. And already, everything in total is, I think, around 500 quid.
Jesus.
So, which is then, like, in turn, around, I think, 650 euros or 600 euros.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And
oh, dear.
It's for, like... Don't get me wrong, that they, like, release more stuff and that they want to have a little bit of money. I get that. I mean, season passes have been a thing for a long while now, and not only for EA games. I totally understand that. But, like, you have the base game, which is already, $60? So why
Yeah.
not like make, I don't know, 4 season passes in total for $25? That is already $100, which is quite a lot for like, if you just consider it, it's just DLCs. And you would still make $160 with the game and the DLCs. EA would still make enough money, and yet they don't stop. It's infuriating. I don't know.
That
Someone who doesn't have the money.
That model of season pass you just mentioned is exactly what Capcom do with Street Fighter V. They have 3 seasons of DLC. Each one is like 25 quid, and on release, the game was $60. Right about now, it should be like, I think, the same price as the DLC, if not a little bit more, or like as the season pass. And my fuck, if there's a game that I regret buying on release, it's fucking Street Fighter V.
And yeah, I mean, totally. Like, if you don't necessarily like a game, I get that. But like, for example, I would actually be willing to pay like, I don't know, $100 for Sims, because I know I would be putting a lot of time into it. I would be able to stream it, have like really nice and chill streams with it.
Yeah.
So I would
Cracky
be willing
streams,
to actually put that money into it.
Yeah.
But I'm not willing to put in like 500 quid or something, because that is just way too much.
That's a donation goal in itself.
Yeah, I would.
Like,
I would
absurd.
never do that.
New AnnaHighwind donation goes.
The Sims
all
3.
the Sims DLC, €500.
The problem is Sims is actually like exceptionally hard on your graphic cards, surprisingly. At least on mine, because you guys know me. My PC is a little bit, damaged.
Your GPU can't run near on the lowest settings.
It's saddening. And so, like, in order for me probably to play Sims 4 with all the DLCs, I would probably need to have the new rig first. Oh, God.
Which is also a lot of money.
Making me sad. Yeah, it's around 2,000, I think.
Yeah.
One hell of an expensive.
That's roughly the same price as mine.
Yep. I found a new one today, though, and it's in black. So, like,
nice.
I put that now on my wish list instead of the white one.
Remind me to actually give you my list of parts for my rig, because you might be able to get that at roughly the same price.
Yeah, if I think if I can like, I need to ask a friend. So, because I don't want to like put my fingers into a PC and build it myself, because I know myself I will probably be able to break something without actually being able to break something, and I will not risk that, not for something that is worth so much money. So I would have to see if I can get a friend to actually then build the parts together. Because I refuse to do it, because I would be able to mess something up horrifically, and that's just not worth it. So I have to see if I can get that going first. Otherwise, I will just get me a pre-built one. It's I think $200 more expensive, but I will be sure then that everything sits and fits.
Yeah.
But I guess that's personal preference, anyways.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah. Other than that, in my week, big shout out to Pala from my server, who has very nicely ordered me a new pair of headphones that should be here tomorrow morning as of this recording. So fucking thank you to that guy. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, can I? Sorry.
Yeah. No,
I wanted to thank Pala then as well, because he it's not even Christmas. It's not even now. It's December, but he actually sent me 2 things for Christmas. It's a little happy plushie I got, and something from Studio Ghibli. It was a keyring with a little Totoro plushie on it, and I'm very, very grateful for that. And like generally also Chris, who has helped me out a lot recently. So like, if we already thanking people, I figured I would throw that in. I'm sorry.
Speaking of which, there's something I need to do which I have forgotten to do the past 2 podcast episodes, and that's thank What Up Nico for the logo for the podcast. I commissioned him to do the little metal ear, little part of the logo, and then I just like added some and changed some little bits onto it. So thanks, Nico. Fucking thank you so much, dude. And yeah, obviously it goes without saying, thanks to anyone and everyone who's thrown money at us in our streams.
Yeah.
You mad cunts.
Crazy. Yeah, I was gonna say that. Crazy cunts. Thank you guys so much.
Anna, you crazy cunt.
No, fuck off! Don't thank me now because I'm here. All right. Do that like next time when I'm not here. Then you can like. Actually, don't do that. Don't thank me at all.
No,
Thank
I
you,
will.
you crazy
I
cunt.
will be thanking you.
No, Trip, not you.
How
as
much?
well. Oh.
How much did you throw at me the other day?
Yeah, because you deserve it. I know
debatable.
you guys. I know. Yeah, exactly. I know you both. You will never actually. But like.
Here we go.
Yeah. I guess when I'm here already. You both are amazing cunts, okay? And I would not be throwing money at you if I didn't think you would actually deserve it, or if I didn't think that your streams are in some way or another entertaining and good. So
here's the thing, Anna.
Trust me.
I absolutely don't mind you throwing money at me. It was the fact that you said literally like 2 days before on Twitter, money's kind of tight at the moment, so if I don't renew my sub, it's nothing personal. And then all of a sudden in my stream, you start throwing money. Anna, stop.
That is the thing. Like, and I know it's absolutely terrible. I don't actually have a spending problem because, like, when I know, okay, I have to save up, I will actually save up. But when I have money left and I know I can actually, like, afford it, I just like to give to the people. Like, I just want to. The people I love, I want to see them smile because of something I did. Maybe it sounds like absolutely stupid or super cheesy.
No, it's not. It's not stupid.
It's just like it warms my heart when I come into Sealion's stream and just drop a fucking 100 bits, or I come into your stream and I start telling you the bean joke throughout bits. It's just
that was great.
Yeah, I actually have to say that was hilarious.
I'm gonna edit all that out to make it sound like you do it to trigger us.
All right. I can say that. Yeah, I'm actually donating to you guys to trigger you guys. Was that good enough?
Yeah, that's fine. I can just take out all that was just previously
actually,
set out.
Don't take
Perfect.
It out.
Works for me. Right.
On to the news.
On to the news it is. There's the news sound. Right, so what do you guys want to feel like starting off with first?
Well, seeing as we were talking about Darksiders earlier, let's get that one out of the way.
Oh yes.
Let's get that one out of the way nice and quick.
Are you sure you want
please.
that? Are you sure you want
Yeah,
that?
I want to hear this.
Boy.
Okay, so we have an article here by themashable.com. Now, I haven't actually read this article, but I put this in our little news text channel where we record these podcasts because of the title alone. Darksiders 3 is basically just a super chill Dark Souls. We have another video game journalist comparing a game to Dark Souls. Oh god, like we didn't have 50 beforehand.
Am I allowed to read?
Yeah, go ahead.
Read! Oh!
There you go.
It's like, okay.
Okay.
Can
Let's just go through the article a little bit, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty. This is by Adam Rosenberg. This is 4 days old as of this recording. Darksiders 3 is the game to play if you're intrigued by Dark Souls, but don't think you can hack the challenge. The hallmarks are all there. Simplistic seeming but highly technical combat that punishes even minor errors. A sprawling puzzle box map that unfolds over on itself again and again as you unlock shortcuts and new paths. A healing potion that recharges a la your Dark Souls Estus Flask. Most Dark Soulsy of all is your ability to progress and level up is tied to Volgrim, the demon merchant who only accepts payment in souls. If you die between Volgrim checkpoints, any unspent souls you collect are left behind. You then have the option of fighting your way back to that spot and recovering them. The story plunges players into the end of the world. You are Fury, one of the 4 horse riders of the apocalypse, and you've been sent to an apocalyptic Earth on a mission to defeat and capture physical manifestations of the 7 deadly sins. I wanted to get those Souls comparisons out of the way. That's your entire article! What do you mean get them out of the way? Fuck are you saying? Okay, and then it goes on to compare the game to other games, like Legend of Zelda, God of War, Diablo, a couple of things like that. But overall, this entire article has...
It's just comparisons, yeah. It's not a review of the game at all.
One of the big quotes in a little further down is Darksiders 3 isn't a total success, but it's also not defined by its soulsiness. You are literally defining it by its soulsiness.
I love how it has a healing potion that recharges. Definitely Dark Souls.
Can I say something?
It has good map design. Definitely Dark Souls. Like it's not something that's go ahead.
Sorry, but like
otherwise I'm gonna rant forever.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like as a Dark Souls veteran, and I am actually ready to call myself by now a Dark Souls veteran because I've been playing this series for like 3 years, and I will always pick it back up. If it's now Dark Souls or Bloodborne, it doesn't matter. I will eventually pick it up again. It's just bullshit. Like, can we just let games be games? I mean, yes, there are definitely influences from Dark Souls, and that is undeniable, but also Dark Souls had influences from other games, and other games also had influences from Dark Souls, or influenced Dark Souls, without them being compared in the end. I mean, everything will, in some way, just have an effect on something, and that is totally okay, but that doesn't make it a Dark Souls game, or a Dark Souls-esque game. And, like, I mean, yes, it's difficult, but just the difficulty in itself doesn't make a game a Dark Souls game, and that is something that has been shown in game journalism a lot. Oh my god, this game is difficult, it is a Dark Souls game.
Cuphead is hard, it's like Dark Souls.
There was an article I omitted from last week's podcast, which was basically saying that that the Spyro Reignited trilogy is like Dark Souls because it's hard.
God.
Oh, exactly. This is... I mean, okay, it has nice map design, and Dark Souls... I mean, yeah, let's be honest here, Dark Souls 1 and also 3 had... or Bloodborne had amazing map design. But just because Darksiders 3 now has a really nice map doesn't make it a Dark Souls game. Just because you have your potions recharging, which is basically an element that has been used in JRPG games for I don't know how many years, it doesn't make it a Dark Souls game. Like, it's like, for example, dodge rolling, okay? I mean, dodge rolling is a pretty Dark Souls thing, right? I mean, you see that, like, every Dark Souls streamer is dodge rolling, but like, I mean, now you will just laugh me making this comparison because Kingdom Hearts, you were able to dodge roll in that game. It's
like Dark Souls.
Yeah, is Dark Souls now suddenly copying Kingdom Hearts? What the fuck? No, it's like there are just influences, and that it's not necessarily an influence, but there are obviously similar elements from other games. It's just that we just don't need to compare it all the time. It just gives the game a certain expectation. Like, people now read it, okay, Darksiders 3 is like Dark Souls, let me play it. And people will be disappointed then.
I love how he also compares, one of his points is to level up through Souls, and stuff, like through Volgrim. Even though Souls has been a currency in Darksiders since January 2010, when Darksiders 1 releases, which was over 18 months before Dark Souls 1 was even released.
Yep.
So, who's copying who here? I think I'd say that Dark Souls 1 is a Darksiders-esque game. Like, fuck off! Yeah. Are you serious, dude?
Yeah. See, this is the thing. I would not be as, like, just treating these kind of, like, comparing one game to, like, the Souls games as, like, vehemently as I do, if it wasn't for the fact that Dark Souls is primarily inspired and takes tropes from things like the old Zelda games and that. And the comparison of, like, comparing, like, this thing, I would not describe, again, I haven't touched any of the Darksiders games. Trip will probably, like, correct me or agree with me based on this. I would not describe Darksiders as a Dark Souls-like game. I would describe them from look. They look like edgy Zelda games. And obviously I love that.
You're not
wrong. I like that. Thank you. That's the way I look at those games, because it's like the map folds in on itself. That's been a game design technique since the Metroidvania era.
That's fucking not unique to Dark Souls. What the shit? Map design hasn't been a thing.
Dark Souls took it from that. Dark Souls took the Metroidvania thing from Metroid and Castlevania. Hence why it's called Metroidvania. Stop saying things that Dark Souls use automatically makes games that also use those things Dark Souls likes. It's fucking stupid. It's lazy writing and journalism, and you should be fired for doing that. It's just lazy. It's pathetic.
I wouldn't be as vehement about it if it wasn't if I was just asking someone, what did you think about Darksiders 3? And would it be the sort of game that I would enjoy? And if someone just says well, did you enjoy Dark Souls? And it's you might enjoy this game. That's just okay. That's not exactly a comparison, but it's kind of the same area. But this guy literally gets paid to write reviews on games. It's supposed to inform the reader about the game. This is his job. He's getting paid for this, and this is what he comes up with. I want. It's like that. What was it Far Cry? But there was basically a super long review on Far Cry that wasn't about the game. Was it Far Cry 5? It was
I don't know.
I can't remember. I'll try and find the article after the recording. But there was this super long review on I think it was Far Cry 5. Don't quote me on that. It could be a different game. But it was on a game. It was pages long, and most of it was to do with the political atmosphere in the game, and its relation. It's relation to the politics in real. That is not what I'm here to read. I'm not here to read about politics either in the game or in the real world. I'm here to actually find out if the game is good and whether I should buy it.
I do remember around the time of release there was a I didn't read it, but there was some sort of article saying that Far Cry 5 is not addressing stuff in the current political atmosphere, and it's it doesn't need to.
Yeah, it doesn't need to.
It's its own thing.
But first of all, sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
That's okay. I was just gonna very quickly point out even though I said that you should be fired for making just throwaway comparisons to Dark Souls in games, this thing, when you compare a game to Dark Souls, do it as if you were comparing a Doom clone back in the day. This thing, Shadow Warrior, back in the day, the original one, that was a Doom clone. You can call it a Doom clone. If you're going to say something's a Dark Souls-like, or a Souls-like, or Soulsborne-like, whatever, it has to be a Dark Souls clone. The only games you'd be able to make that comparison is games like The Surge, Sinner, things that are clearly, derivative and heavily inspired by Soulsborne games. Not games that are just clearly not. Comparing Crash Bandicoot and Spyro and all that lark to Dark Souls is a Cuphead because you couldn't get past the fucking tutorial. It's not a good thing to do. It shows you're lazy and inept at your job.
I still can't get over that. This game journalist supposedly plays games for a living and can't get past the tutorial on a game.
Oh, dude. You should see the Devil May Cry Reddit when journalists got early hands-on on Devil May Cry 5. And they didn't compare it to Dark Souls, no. They were annoyed, a lot of the journalists were annoyed that the music wasn't as bombastic as it was in the trailers. Well, what was revealed before they had got their touch on it, was that the music will kick in more and more the better you're doing in the game. Because it's a Devil May Cry game, it's the more stylish, the more points you get, the more the music's going to change. If you get up to S rank, the lyrics will come in. So that obviously means that the journalists couldn't get to anywhere near S rank, because the lyrics I think come in at somewhere around, I think it's S rank, and then a lot of little elements of the music come in the more the higher grade of combat you're doing. And from the sounds of it, he couldn't get higher than a C rank, which is real bad.
Yeah,
it's real not good.
Sounds like me.
So
it sounds like a casual
me. I like it. You should have seen the fucking Devil May Cry Reddit when that shit was going off. It was fucking hilarious, and just journalists can't play Devil May Cry to shit, which honestly is kind of reflective of how journalists have scored games like Devil May Cry and the because they'll just give it middling reviews because like a common critique of like character action games is like, why would you do all these elaborate stylish combos when you can just do the same thing over and over again and get through the game? It's like, you're entirely missing the point. The point isn't to just get through the campaign. The point is to go back and get better at the combat and get a higher grade and get more points. It's kind of like an arcade game. You remember what those are? It's like an arcade game, only you only have to put your money in once.
By the way, sorry.
No, I was done.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to go back to this whole comparison thing, because the main thing that actually infuriates me about is that those journalists, I don't think that they are necessarily aware what they are actually doing to the game devs and also the game itself. Because as I said, they put this stamp on the game. So like, this dude was like, alright, Darksiders 3 is a little bit like Dark Souls. So people will now read this article and are like, oh, I wanted to play a Dark Souls-like game for so long. Now let's try this out. So they get Darksiders 3. I was switching to German there. I'm so sorry. And then, like, suddenly they realize, okay, this is actually not like Dark Souls. Like, it has, like, some elements you would also find in Dark Souls, but it's not like Dark Souls. And they just get, like, absolutely disappointed, and then they end up giving the game, for example, a bad review, because they expected something different, right? And that is the thing that just annoys me the most about all those comparisons, because they just give that stamp to a game, and they can't really get rid of it, because everyone would just, jump on this train because they hear Dark Souls and they are like all in. And it just can't run away from it. And that's why I don't know if ever like a fucking game journalist is gonna listen to this, what I have to say, but please stop doing it. Like, yes, you can talk about the elements that are put into the game, and that is like totally legit. I mean, as I said, every game will have an influence from a different game series, and that is totally fine. But like, don't compare them. Don't straight up compare them. It's like Ni no Kuni 1, for example, if some people remember it. It had, like, you were able to catch some monsters, right? To have them as your familiars. It's a similar concept to Pokemon, right? But it's just the concept. Just because the concept that is in the game doesn't mean it's a Pokemon game or like a Pokemon clone. It just had a concept of it or an element of Pokemon in it, and it made it very neat. It was a concept very well put as well, in my opinion. But it doesn't make
this thing. This thing. I have no qualms with like comparing certain elements to like. This is the thing. The thing I mainly have qualm with is like the header of your entire article is blank game is like blank game. Like, that is my main qualm. I have no problem with like comparing specific aspects of a game to another game, so long as you compare those aspects to where they originated from. Like, this is the thing. Like, Z-targeting didn't come from Dark Souls, surprisingly enough. It came from Zelda. So when you describe the lock-on system as like Z-targeting, say it's like Zelda. Don't say it's like Dark Souls. When you say it has a Metroidvania-like map, say it's like Metroid or Castlevania, not Dark Souls. Say where it originated from if you're going to make that comparison. Because there's no point in saying it's like Dark Souls, because the Dark Souls people go, oh, fuck off, you're just trying to draw us in. And the people who are actually looking forward to that game go, fuck off, you haven't done your job right. There's no win in that scenario. Like, even, like, I hate it when, like, certain game devs or, like people who represented the publisher of a game, like, during press conferences specifically, like with, like, E3 or whatever, like, I think it was, like, Cliff Blazinski kept comparing his game, Lawbreakers, saying it was, like, it's the Dark Souls of the first-person shooters. And it's like, fuck off, there's not a single bit of Dark Souls in this. Yeah! He kept doing that, like, just to try and, like, drum up, like, articles to get hype and interest in his game, and it didn't work. Surprisingly
I'm not surprised. But just a little bit of consumer advice, actually. Going back to what Anna said about if someone's buying a game expecting something and then getting disappointed. As a consumer, I only buy games when I know what that game is about. So if someone says, if you like this, you may like this, because it's a similar concept, that's fine, because you can have very broad or vague concepts. But if you're going into buying a game expecting, like, because I like this game, I am expecting this to be a lot like that game, like almost the same, because then you are going to be disappointed. If you're going to buy Darksiders 3 expecting a Dark Souls game, then yeah, you are going to be 100% disappointed. I went into the game expecting a Darksiders game because I've been waiting for this for so long, and so far I'm really enjoying it. That is the same with any kind of game. So going back to what I said last week about the Warhammer Mechanicum game, it said XCOM style combat, which is basically like it just boils down to turn-based combat. That is a broad enough thing to compare it to because lots of games are turn-based combat. But if you're going in expecting,
is that seriously the only comparison to XCOM 2?
Sorry?
Is that seriously the only comparison to XCOM? Is that it's turn-based?
Well, no. It does have more similarities to that. It is very much like it doesn't have. It doesn't have a cover system.
My signifier to XCOM would be: is it turn-based, top-down, isometric, cover shooter?
It's all of those. It's all of those apart from the cover system. Yeah, there's no cover system, but the rest of it.
I think there has to be like, let's say this: if there's 3 integral parts, like of the design to one game, and like a upcoming or newly released game has at least 3 major elements, then okay. But like that, I would.
But that being said,
I would not compare Mechanicum to XCOM.
Yeah, no. That being said, I'm not going into the game expecting an XCOM game. I'm expecting an entirely new game about Warhammer 40,000.
Do you know what is a rather, I guess, apt one for what we're talking about is, remember back in the day when Far Cry 3 was coming out and people were saying it's like Skyrim but with guns?
Yeah, I do.
Oh god,
that is the most like dishonest, like bullshit thing I've heard since playing that game. Now bear in mind, I fucking love Far Cry 3. That's my favourite Ubisoft game, I think.
Far Cry 3 is great.
Far Cry 3 is fucking great. I love that game.
The marketing for it was shit.
I would not compare it anywhere close to Skyrim. Nowhere close. It's like, oh, it has an open world that's first person. Skyrim.
Great. Yeah, that was back when Skyrim was like the talk of everything because it was so popular.
Yeah.
But there are so many other open world first person games. Like what? It is not unique to a single game or a single game series. It is a broad gaming concept that applies to any number of. That doesn't make it like Skyrim. That just makes it an open world for first person. That's all you need to say. Like that's it. Just stop while you're ahead.
Also, but like when we are talking already about Far Cry and all that, Far Cry 4 was actually the first person shooter I actually played entirely, and I actually 100%'d it.
Nice.
I loved the game, and do you know why? Because I was able to have an elephant. I called my elephant Brum, and with Brum, I conquered the whole map. I'm very proud of that.
You can have a bear called Cheeseburger in Far Cry 5. You thought about that one?
Yeah.
But it's not an elephant. I just felt amazing. Just riding in on my elephant. Okay. I didn't have to aim either because I just could, stomp on everyone. It didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I just wanted to throw that in there because Far Cry 4 was actually amazing. I actually really liked the game. It was story-wise. I mean, it had a story you could follow. You didn't really have to in order to enjoy the game. It was just like generally.
Hey, it's just like Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's just like Dark Souls. Sealion, should I stay or should I go, dude? Oof.
Write that down as a possible title. Far Cry 4 is like Dark Souls.
Just like Dark Souls. Like.
It's everything. Just Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's just like Dark Souls.
But just imagine having elephants in Dark Souls. I actually want that. I want to have a mod for Dark Souls, and you just run around on an elephant and stomp.
Can you imagine crushing Gwyn with an elephant?
Yeah, please. Let's have that.
Oh, imagine if you rock up to Pinwheel, just like riding on an elephant, and he goes, "Okay, I had enough trouble when you're on your own, but no, fuck this. You've got an elephant. I'm out."
I'm out.
Teleports away.
Oh god, that would be hilarious.
Okay,
though. Sorry.
How about no? It's okay. How about to finish this little article off and move on to the next one? How about say if you were comparing Skyrim when it's coming out to release how about instead of comparing it to something absurd, how about you say Skyrim? It's kind of like Oblivion.
Yeah, that's literally the first thing that crossed my mind. And even then,
you leave it at that.
Even then, it's not technically true.
Yeah, and then how about if it's like a newly released thing that doesn't have like a sequel of any kind? You're just like, hey, this game is like got all these things in it. If you want to make any comparisons, do that on your own. Like I have a feeling a lot of it is this like whole comparing shtick to compare things to Dark Souls shtick is just like also trying to drive clicks to your articles.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely the popularity. So if you with not Dark Souls 3, Far Cry 3, for example. I mean, Skyrim was probably one of the most popular games ever. Like, I mean, until this day, it's still getting new releases and all that. So, of course, like, then comparing Far Cry 3 to Skyrim would, of course, get, at least a few clicks in, if not even new buyers. Because, Skyrim was amazing, this is supposed to be like Skyrim, let's buy this. And now you have Darksiders 3, which, of course, Darksiders is already a well-known series, but Dark Souls, obviously, was like, I mean, everyone talked about it. Everyone tried to play it, either failed or succeeded and felt amazing, So, like, everyone is like, oh, Dark Souls, it's so popular and all that. And this is like Dark Souls, I need this. So, like, I don't know, I think it's, at this point, just a fucking clickbait.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's face it, the only people that actually get, like, that actually buy a game based on comparing something to Dark Souls is just Indie Mouse.
Oh god.
That wasn't a burn or anything. He literally starts off a lot of his like videos of why he's playing this game because like, hey,
did you see his spiral
with journalists compared it to Dark Souls? Yeah.
I actually like his concept though, because like, I mean, for him it's just like a running joke in his community, and how to take it. Like he would, like if he actually was to seriously like evaluate a game, he would not actually seriously go like, oh yeah, this is like just like Dark Souls. It's just a running gag, and I think it's funny, and it's also a little bit of satire towards all the people who are trying to compare it to everything.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, it is.
I totally
I like it because it also gives him the chance to play something that isn't actually Souls-like.
Yeah.
I also love his little videos where he rips into the journalists like that. Or that.
Yeah.
Or what was it when someone like who was it? Like some game expert or something saying that Fortnite was making kids violent.
That was hilarious.
On the news
site.
That was great.
His video.
Oh my god.
Wait, what was she called again? Kirsten or something?
I can't remember.
It was hilarious.
It was so good.
Alright. Well, speaking of a series that causes you to die a bunch, a series that keeps coming up that makes me want to die in our news articles is Fallout 76.
I'll make you a deal, Sealion. I'll stop talking about Fallout 76 when it stops appearing in the news every fucking week.
I thought that was the agreement from the get-go anyway.
It just doesn't stop. It doesn't fucking stop. Oh my god.
We don't want this like shit to like continuously happen.
Let me
game,
grab
but
my notes.
We have to talk about.
So this current problem with Fallout 76 is that they have promised something in a bundle and people are not getting it, right?
They literally, it's literally a case of false advertising.
Yep.
And they can be sued if they're not being sued already. They
I think
have a high potential
there's talks in it. So for
sued.
people who've lived under a rock for the past few days. In the collector's edition for Fallout 4, there was, in addition to the art book and the power armor helmet, there was a canvas bag that everything was put in. And to be fair, it actually looked like a. Sorry, did I say something else?
You said Fallout 4.
No, I'm always doing that. If I say Fallout 4, I mean 76. But
to be honest, it's the same game with the multiplayer mod.
Pretty much, yep. So anything.
That's not even a joke. That's like
that is true. I'm gonna get onto that. I'm gonna get onto that after this canvas bag thing. But anyway, everything was meant to be in this canvas bag, and to be fair, it looked fucking good. Like the bag actually looked quality. But when people actually got it, also the collector's edition is £200. Sorry, dollars,
Yeah.
but yeah. But yeah, when people actually got it, it turns out
industry is like at the moment.
It turns out it didn't come with that little canvas bag. It actually came with this shitty nylon bag, which looks like see, I'll probably throw an image up on it. I'll send it to you in the Discord if you need to. But it looks like a pile of plastic shit. It looks like one of those little anoraks where you just stuff it into a thing, and like a poncho anorak that you put over yourself to keep you dry and on like a tourism thing. It actually looks like a piece of shit. So someone emailed Bethesda support asking, like, why is this been sent when clearly in the promotional material it's like a nice canvas bag, and like, what are you going to do about this? So Bethesda support emailed back and saying, and this is a quote, "Hello, we are sorry that you're unhappy with the bag. The bag shown in the media was a prototype and was too expensive to make. We aren't planning on doing anything about it." And that was their PR response. So not only is there false advertisement, which they could get sued for, but it got worse. So next, Fallout themselves tweeted out, "We understand and respect there is disappointment with the bag in the Power Armor edition. We are sorry. Please contact Bethesda support to provide proof of your CE purchase. They will assist in granting your account 500 atoms." Which, if you don't know, 500 atoms can be bought in their microtransaction store for $5. So they're essentially fucking compensating you for spending $200 on this. Well, I know the bag isn't going to be worth the full price of that, but they're compensating you for what looked like a $40, $50 bag and getting a nylon piece of crap with $5. And not even to spend on something else, it's in-game currency, which is worthless to them. So, and like it also gets worse. Like there's more. There's more.
It's just the legal loophole.
Yep.
Yeah, so the thing is, if someone actually takes it,
they won't be able to sue them. Yeah,
exactly,
because you've basically accepted compensation from them and accepted that the matter is closed. If you don't take it, you actually have a leg to stand on. But Fallout also responded to the guy that put up the email on Twitter, and they said this, this is the bit that really annoys me. "The Bethesda Store support member is a temporary contract employee and not directly employed by Bethesda or Bethesda Game Studios. We apologize to the customer who took the time to reach out. The support response was incorrect and not in accordance with our conduct policy." So that's the first tweet. And they essentially say the support member was in the wrong. They threw him under the bus. I'll be surprised if he's still working there, to be honest. And they basically said his response that we aren't going to do anything about it is incorrect. The next tweet literally says, "Unfortunately, due to unavailability of materials, we had to switch to a nylon carrying case for Fallout 76 Power Armor Edition. We hope this doesn't prevent anyone from enjoying the feel that is one of our best collector's editions." So they essentially said exactly the same thing and threw the guy under the bus.
Yeah.
Which what? Literally makes no sense. That absolutely makes no sense.
Not, if you're gonna throw someone under the bus, you need to also be holding the flowers you're gonna lay down at their grave.
You need to also fix the problem, yeah. And they just accept exactly the same thing.
You're owned by ZeniMax. You're owned by fucking ZeniMax. You cannot fucking tell me that you do not have the money available to purchase the materials for the bag you promised. Fuck off. That is genuinely despicable. I've not even bought the game and I'm fucking angry at that. Fuck off.
Yeah.
It's another, like, okay, I'm a complete, like, on the same side of like, sort of Jim Sterling sort of thing of fuck the corporation. Fuck the corporation. Fuck the corporation. Fuck the corporation. And they are owned by ZeniMax, one of the richest corporations involved in the games media right now. They're partnerships with Facebook and VR to do all that shit. You cannot fucking tell me that the material was too expensive.
And then charge $200 for it.
Exactly.
I love also how
bollocks.
The price for 76 is now 45% off its pre-order price. Fucking 2.5 weeks after launch. So anyone who pre-ordered that game, collector's edition or not, must be fuming right now that they essentially wasted $25 on what is already a shit game. But even if it was an amazing game, just the fact that it's come down in price so soon, that is just it's bollocks. It's complete bollocks.
But you can also see why, because because
they aren't selling.
Yeah, exactly. And that is probably also one of the reasons why they because the pre-orders maybe weren't as much as they had expected. So they try to maybe compensate somewhere else, and maybe that's why those bags didn't turn out to be the high quality they were. And you can see it also now in the drop price. Maybe Bethesda is with the sellings just not doing as well as they hope to be. I mean, it was really hyped during E3. It was really hyped.
Yeah,
everyone was hyped. And then the beta came out. Beta?
Either
whatever.
It's we know what you mean when you say it, so don't worry about pronunciation.
So they I mean, people were already complaining to that time. There were just some problems with it. People were complaining. Maybe people just
the game
went
deleting
back
itself.
Yeah, for example that, and
just a minor bug.
I don't know, I don't know what Bethesda is doing, but I don't think that was so hard, and I think Fallout 76 is probably one of their most major fuck ups they had so far.
Ever, yes, agreed.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
this is such a big of a fuck up that I don't think they're gonna be able to excuse their outdated engine, even if they wanted to.
No, not at all. And
they probably will actually think about it.
The thing is, before all of this happened with the bag and shit, they were already under a lot of pressure. The release of Fallout was already a dumpster fire. People weren't happy with it at all. They'd cut the price. It was already looking bad. What you cannot do is basically make it worse. All they're doing is digging a deeper hole. You've got to try and win back the consumer's support in this situation. When people lose trust in you after what they've done with their release, you've got to try and make it up to them. You've got to try and do something to say, okay, we fucked up, but we're going to work our absolute hardest to try and make it up to people. And then this comes out. It's just making you look worse. What is your PR department doing? What are you playing at?
Yeah.
It's...
There's also a saying... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Yeah, there's a saying in German, probably also in English, but you are not supposed to, sell the bear fur until you shot the bear. Because you just don't. If you don't have it, don't
promise it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. For example, again, Kingdom Hearts. I love Kingdom Hearts. Okay, so there was this the big announcement. Wow. Good one, Anna. Yeah. The big announcement at the E3 that they bring out this really nice limited edition for Kingdom Hearts. And that there's a reason why that shit is limited. But they also know that they can do it. I mean, Square Enix is not known to be good at the moment. I know that. But, just imagine, you have something promised. Yeah, and then you just don't get it. I can understand the disappointment from the fans here. This is devastating, especially for the people who've just been waiting for Fallout 76 after all this hype they have made. Yeah. I mean, Fallout 76 was talked about at the E3 from at the Bethesda conference. I don't know for how long. I think 20 minutes. Fallout 76.
It was the majority of that presentation.
Yeah, and...
Yep.
I mean, I can understand the disappointment. 100%.
Oh, definitely. I completely understand the disappointment. What I do not understand is why Bethesda are doing what they're doing in the first place.
Yeah. It's painful to see, isn't it?
Getting back to the laziness of the product, actually. I do recommend watching SkillUp's review on 76. It came out earlier this week. It's about half an hour.
I've seen that being right in my. I've been seeing that in my.
It raises some very good. Yeah, it raises some very good points about the game, and actually, it's a good review actually because it does try and give it the benefit of the doubt, but it still calls it out for its bullshit. And actually, I really enjoyed that review. But he goes on to say about the laziness of the engine, and he explains it far better than I do. I won't go into detail about the engine. But he did say a lot about the laziness of the design of the game. Because I imagine you both played Fallout 4, right?
No, I have not.
Yeah.
I actually haven't played any Fallout games.
Okay, well,
which is why I'm holding back.
The shooting in Fallout isn't exactly intuitive. Like
It's shit.
For a shooter game, it is pretty crap. The AIs
It's
are very
shit.
the AIs are very fast. They tend to surround you, which means you have to back up. Like the shooting isn't good. The only thing that made it bearable was the VAT system, because you could slow down time, aim, and essentially get an aimbot. And that actually made it bearable. Of course, that doesn't happen in Fallout 76 because it's an online game and you can't slow down time. So the fact that they didn't redesign the shooting at all, even though it was based on a system that could slow down time, based on a single-player system, they just ported it over to multiplayer and said, yep, it'll work. Same with the Pip-Boy UI. The Pip-Boy UI is a nightmare in Fallout 4, but it was made up by the fact that you could pause time and you could spend as much time as you want in the Pip-Boy without having risk of anything. But in Fallout 76, you can't do that, so when you need to find something quickly, and you're going through all these confusing menus, you can't. It's just so unintuitive. 3 days. This is the thing. It's incredibly lazy, not because that they just couldn't be bothered to do it themselves, but because it has already been done by modders that have put their code up as open source, and they couldn't even be bothered to copy that. People who have designed better UIs than them. 3 days after Fallout 76's release, a mod went up which drastically improved even just like the carry, the way it categorizes all of your stuff. It still looks a bit like a nightmare, but it categorizes your stuff, makes things easier to find, and has little carry icons that tells you how far you into your carry, how much more you can carry, how much you should be carrying. It is a huge improvement over the base thing, and for basically the minimal effort. It was 3 days. Like, it came out 3 days.
Wait.
If he can make a mod that improves, even if it's just a small improvement, if he can make a mod that improves the Fallout UI in 3 days, what the fuck have Bethesda been doing for 3 years? Seriously.
Yeah, but now I'm actually okay. So like this whole like categorizing inventory stuff. I know that like for Skyrim there have also been mods for that.
Yeah,
so
Sky
like,
UI.
So yeah, and so that problem that that the whole inventory stuff was messed up. That was a problem that was already known to Bethesda. That was fixed from by modders already before, in the past, before 76 was even in production.
Yeah.
And they have not. Oh, Bethesda, what are you doing?
It's exactly the same with their engine. They've got bugs that have been in their engine for over 15, 20 years, and they're still there. Which he goes into detail about.
Modders had already technically fixed a lot of bugs in Fallout 76 before it even released, because they were the exact same, and I mean the exact same bugs that were in Fallout 4.
I've pulled up an image here, which again I will put it in the Discord, which is someone analysing the game files and the code and comparing it to Fallout 4 and Skyrim. And it reuses the exact same files from Fallout 4 and Skyrim from over 5 years ago. Fallout 76 initially checks to see if the disk for Fallout 4 is in before the actual game.
Oh,
that's how bad this is. Also, Fallout 76's anti-cheat engine simply relies on searching for a file named cheat engine. That's it. If your script is literally named anything else, you will not be banned. And I will put that image in the Discord later. It is hilarious at how little effort they have put into this, and then trying to justify charging this amount for it.
Oh, Bethesda!
Cheat engine. Oh my god.
Okay, I kind of want to get off Fallout 76 just a little bit, but there is there's just one article that two articles actually. There's one article that I want to go a bit more into, but the very quick article is that there's another bug that's been found that is basically involving the power armor can turn your character into a giant naked monster.
Yeah, I've seen this one.
The first line in the article is this a bug or feature? Oh god. But yeah, it's basically a glitch involving the power armor. I'll throw up some images of what the characters will look like because of this bug. There's a the images I'll throw up is from a tweet from @grand_DM. So last night while playing Fallout 76, my son's character had the creepiest glitch ever. His power armor molded with his body, making what you see below. We were laughing as he walked around as the tighty whitey horror.
Oh my god.
But
yeah, we mentioned earlier, we mentioned last week rather, that there was a accidental, permanent god mode bug in the game as well. That that was fucked. But yeah, hey, you guys want to briefly say anything on this before we move on to the last main bit of Fallout 76 stuff?
Yeah, I actually have something to say, or rather, someone to quote. I don't know if you guys watch PewDiePie, but
a little bit.
I watch him a bit.
So, you remember England is my city. So, PewDiePie actually said something very, very nice, and I kind of want to direct it at Bethesda here. Oh no, you're retarded! I mean, come on, Bethesda, you can do better than this. I mean,
it's actually shocking how badly they fucked this up.
Yeah,
you wouldn't guess it. You just wouldn't
This-
guess it, but
It's,
oh no, you're retarded.
it's inexcusable, and I think people will no longer excuse Bethesda's talk quality in terms of in technical poor quality.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna be able to excuse them from this point on. If a Bethesda game releases, even if the story content is great, even if the voice acting is brilliant, if the game is technically fucked, it's going to get similar scores to Fallout 76
no one's gonna buy it
as a release.
But
Nobody's gonna like them anymore.
To use an analogy that SkillUp uses in his video, to do with a frog in a pan of boiling water, and if you want to cook a frog, you don't put it into boiling water because it will jump out. You put it into cold water and slowly heat up the water, very, very slowly. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit morbid, but the point is that we've been the frog in the water getting slowly heated up as Bethesda release buggy after buggy game. Just for years now, for over 15 years, and we've tolerated it because overall the games have still been enjoyable, but they have been getting worse and worse. Skyrim Skyrim and Fallout have been, up until now, the most buggy games that they have released. Morrowind may have looked pretty bad, but it was fucking reliable, and the story was great, and the design was great, but as they've been going longer and longer, they've been getting worse and worse, but we still tolerated it up to a point because they were enjoyable, and Skyrim's fucking one of the best games, one of the highest sold games that they've ever made. But at this point now, they've made such a fuck up that we've realized what we've been taking. We've realized what we've just been eating their shit, and we've realized that we've been boiled alive in this pot. And I don't think I agree with you completely, Sealion. I don't think we're going to accept anything less than almost perfection from now on from Bethesda. And if it's anything less than their sales are going to be through the floor.
I gotta
just
say though,
ruined...
oh sorry.
No, I was just going to say they have absolutely ruined any and all trust that they had with their dedicated fan base.
Yeah. But yeah, as Trip said, I mean, it's still the games are still at least to a certain degree enjoyable, and I think even though they fucked up, I know a lot of people who actually play Fallout 76 also quite a lot actually, and they enjoy it, and I get it.
Your
it's
very
enjoyable.
good friend. Your very good friend, Paragon DS.
Paragon,
is really into it.
He loves the game, and I totally get it. By the way, I'm sorry if
having said that,
not allowed. He released a video today.
I was just about to say.
I haven't seen it.
He just had a video. Well, it's titled Fallout or Bethesda, please fix your shit or something. Let me look.
Yeah. I mean, he's aware of problems, but it's still an enjoyable game, and I get that it's enjoyable for people, but Bethesda, that is not an excuse to deliver absolute shit. So please, take care of your friends. Fans rather, and listen to them.
And I do recommend checking out Paragon DS, and his latest video is called "Fix It Fallout 76" with a thumbs down in the thumbnail, because as much as he enjoys it, he recognizes the problems, and
That'll be,
I commend
that'll
him
be
for-
linked in the description in that.
I
for the,
commend him for
video listeners.
putting in as many hours as he did, because I know that some people, some reviewers actually, I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but someone actually said, like, no, I refuse to put another 20, 30 hours into this game just to put a number on it. I actually, it's painful to play this game, so I'm just going to put it aside and not review it. Because he actually just couldn't stomach it, and I don't blame him.
Yeah. Sorry, do you have something to say, Anna?
Yeah, I was actually, since we are talking about devs that are fucking up, I actually kind of want to bring something up, just very briefly, for devs who actually are really, I don't know, close to their fans, I guess. And I'm talking about the Warframe devs, because, I mean, yet again, they have released an update, a really big update, a new open world area, Fortuna. I play a lot of Warframe at the moment. I'm not playing the open world areas because of my PC being crap. But I just gotta commend them for, I don't know, they are just like, I mean, they release something and sometimes it's buggy, but they keep releasing it, and it's still a free to play game. So like you don't actually have to pay money. Like everything you, in some way or another, you can grind for. They are close to their fans. They listen to them. They add skins from fans, and if you buy them in game, those people will actually get also money for that. Like they get a revenue from it. And I just gotta say, you know, seeing Bethesda, you know, fucking up, not listening or not giving something back to their fans, or at least, you know, something proper. I have to say, I think Extreme Games, or no, I don't actually know the dev's name, which is terrible. I probably should have known that, but they are amazing, and I think credit is where credit is due. And since we're already talking about negative stuff, let's just, you know, put some positivity here in for some.
Yeah, no, when we were talking about Digital Extremes, by the way, is the
Digital Extremes. That was.
But when we were talking about the Game Awards in our first podcast a couple of weeks ago, we did mention that Warframe should have been up there in best ongoing game.
Definitely, they
along
are
with Dead by Daylight, but
yeah,
I just don't understand why it's not.
Yeah, like they put so much, like they are really constantly working on it, constantly, and I don't know, the community in itself as well is super friendly. Like I have already experienced a few toxic players in Warframe, but it's really minor, and most of them are really friendly, or like if not, they usually just shut up. They actually don't give you like any toxic comments. Not that it's needed anyways, because it's mostly PvE. But it's a very friendly and welcoming community, most of them anyways. Like, you know, they have like a lot of Twitch streamers that are partnered, and those communities are very, very nice, helpful as well. And they are just generally doing a really good job. And Warframe looks very nice as well. The gameplay mechanics are very smooth, and as I said, it's free to play, and everything you do in there can be grinded for in some way or another. You don't actually have to pay money. You can if you want to be lazy, of course. But I don't know, it's just a really good game, and the devs are incredible. So like, honestly, shout out there, I guess, if that's any good for them.
Yeah, if we're going to do that real briefly, I want to extend that to Firaxis, the makers of XCOM 2. They are brilliant with their content updates and supporting the modding community. And also Twinmotion, the developers of Dead Cells. They are absolutely brilliant. They love engaging with their fans. I'm in the official Dead Cells Discord server, and I constantly see devs interacting just with random people.
That's awesome.
And just like all sorts of stuff, and they are brilliant.
And I want to bring up Behavior Interactive for Dead by Daylight, because they are also very good with spitting out a lot of content, quality content as well. And they do listen to the community and try and balance the game as best they can, and they work super hard to get the game as best as it can. And I think it shows.
Amazing.
It shows. Although, that being said, on the subject of Dead by Daylight, I do have to admit, the new killer went on the test servers this Tuesday, unless something about the killer changes before release, which will either be the Tuesday coming up or the Tuesday after that, don't buy the DLC because the new killer is garbage. But apart from that, like this latest DLC so far is a little disappointing in both the killer and the map. But apart from that, it's one mistake. Like they have been working their asses off for over a year now, and it shows. And I think they will. A lot of people are calling out this last DLC as being a little off in terms of balance. So if they do fix it, and they probably will, then again, commend. Like that's more commend to them.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. That's more. What's the word I'm looking for? I commend them for it. Is what I'm trying to say. But
yeah,
there you go.
No, we got you. But yeah. Like as much as there are devs that obviously don't give a shit what their fans say, I guess it's quite obvious now that there are also just amazing devs, honestly.
Yeah.
I think on the Fallout side, I think it's more of a publisher's fault rather than devs not caring. I think it's like entirely like the publisher's fuck.
I mean, yeah, you're right, but like in general, like just I don't know, I just love seeing the communities, I guess, around like I mean, some of them are definitely indie devs. I mean, like for Dead Cells. And I don't know, I had Dead Cells since it was in the early access, and it's amazing. Like I haven't played it a lot because it's just like not my type of game, but I saw what the devs were doing and how friendly and engaging they were, and I was just like, even if I don't play this game, I kind of want to support them, and I did, and I'm not disappointed. Even though I'm not playing this game much, as I said, I'm really not disappointed that I chose to support them. Because they really do deserve it. And they are still, even though, like, they have grown rather big because of that. I mean, Dead Cells, I think, is also, like, now in the Game Awards.
It is, for, I believe, Best Indie Game.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, even now that they have grown a little bit bigger, they still are on very solid ground and are still very engaging and friendly to their community. And I think that's a very, very nice thing to see.
Yeah.
So
I want to address one more developer, actually, before we move on, is Zachtronics, actually, who make little intuitive engineering puzzle games, which I absolutely love. Like, being an engineer is so satisfying. Just for these puzzle games, and
now I wanna. I won't do it like for the podcast video because you don't want your face out there. But now I really want to Photoshop of your face to look like the TF2 engineer.
You can put my avatar in there. That'll be fun. Red prints.
I'm an engineer, you know.
But no, it's so
practically.
Yeah, it is so satisfying playing these games, and I absolutely love them. And considering the level of detail and the high quality of it, I think I played a little bit of Opus Magnum on stream once. I think
I've seen that game. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks high quality. This is before you learn that the developers are a tiny company. They are actually tiny. They have barely any staff whatsoever, and yet they make these really high quality games. They don't really they don't bring out a huge amount of new content to them over time. Like when Opus Magnum first came out, they did weekly puzzles in the workbook, or what was it called, the workshop? I can't remember what it's called, but they did weekly puzzles. It's kind of dried up a little bit now because more and more people are just doing custom puzzles themselves. They installed a custom puzzle editor and just said have fun. But they're also really interactive with the community, because when I bought this for early access because I fucking love their games, and I found a bug in their puzzle editor. So I emailed them talking about the bug. I got an email from Zach himself, like the CEO of the company, just like, oh, can you send me some videos of this so I can fix this? And we had a long conversation about it, and he was so engaged with trying to make his game good, and it was clear that he really did care about it. And I just want to shout him out for that, because go and buy, if you have any interest in puzzle games whatsoever, go and buy either Shenzhen.io or Opus Magnum, because they are absolutely amazing. But
no, like also that he just like, casually talked to you, like, trying to fix it. That is really amazing. I have to admit, I watched it on your stream, and I watched it, and I was like, I don't understand any of it. I was just like sitting there and was like, yeah, this is just like maths. But like in general, like I mean, it's just not interesting for me because I don't know. I don't understand.
It's definitely not for everyone. I will admit that.
Yeah.
But for the person who do enjoy those kinds of games, it is so good.
And the fact that those devs are like actually putting so much work into it, and even the CEO kind of makes me want to just buy it just for the sake of supporting them. Just for the sake of that. Oh god.
I mean, I would give it a go. And it does ease you in slowly. It gives you lots of tutorials. You never know, you may like it.
Yeah, maybe.
So you're saying it fucks you gently?
Oh, that's a good song, by the way. Fuck her gently.
Well, speaking more on things that are getting fucked. Fallout 76 refund policy may lead to a lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
This is from this is all over lots of different articles, but what we're reading from is from Den of Geek. And basically it goes into how the refund policy is kind of illegal, and some lawyers in Washington DC are looking into suing Bethesda.
Yeah, isn't this about they don't have a refund policy for digital copies of the game, but aren't all of the copies digital? It's through some weird way?
Here's the thing. Let's read from the article. While some state that Bethesda has been quick to honour the refund requests, many other users have reported that Bethesda's support team have denied their refund request because, and this is in quotations, customers who have downloaded the game are not eligible for a refund. End quote. Despite defying all logic, it appears that very policy can be found amongst the terms and conditions of Bethesda's game launcher service. That sounds illegal to all shit.
Yeah.
So
customers who have downloaded the game are not eligible for. Okay. Yeah. So
that sounds illegal to all shit. And law firm, but I'm pronouncing this so wrong. Miglaccio and Rathlod LLP are saying that Bethesda are not only being unreasonable in regards to the refund policy, but that various glitches and bugs found in Fallout 76 are unacceptable. So I saw an extension to this. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I did see someone suggest that because of the way the disc the disc works and actually downloads the game data from somewhere else, and the disc functions basically just like a key, aren't all copies of the game downloaded versions. So essentially, essentially no version of the game is eligible for a refund, which is. But for anyone who doesn't know, physical versions of Fallout 76, well, from what I've seen, there isn't any. If you purchase a PS4 copy from like a retailer, it's a cardboard disc with a key code.
Yeah.
A code for the game in it, like on the little cardboard little flap.
So it's essentially just a no refund policy, which is even worse.
Which is terrible. It's almost as if they have planned this all, eh?
Yep.
Almost. It's almost as if their corporate schemes are blowing up in their faces. Totally don't love that. But yeah, I think we're done.
Yeah, no.
This week's
let's just
bollocks.
At the same time, although I do hate Fallout 76, at the same time I'm really glad it exists, because in the same way that Battlefront 2 exists for EA, I'm glad that happened, because it showed people very obviously this is what's wrong with the gaming industry right now. EA had to take the fall for it, but it's basically some games are now being sold on no loot box guarantees, and people have been working towards passing laws with child gambling and stuff. People are actually moving on this because they've just had enough. And that's because of one game that basically just made it so obvious that they were being exploited. I think this is largely the same thing for Fallout 76. I believe we're kind of in the same kind of phase of people are realizing this is unacceptable, and we're actually gonna try and developers are gonna pull their asses together because they don't want to suffer the same fate as Bethesda. So it raises awareness, and unfortunately, it also brings along a huge shit show, but I think it's necessary.
On a very small note, I would not be surprised if future companies or publishers and devs during particularly things like E3 and that advertise their game based on the fact that, hey, there won't be a 54 gig patch on release.
Or the fact that it just works. The game works.
Our game works. Yeah. Our game boots up when you launch it. Surprisingly enough.
Our game doesn't have constantly crashing servers.
Our game won't uninstall itself or refuse to let you uninstall it.
By the way, speaking of this now,
Mm-hmm.
So, as you guys know, in 2 months' time, the game I have waited for way too long, just saying, is going to release. Kingdom Hearts 3. Yes, I'm bringing it up again.
Don't worry about it.
I'm so afraid. While at the same time, I'm super excited. I think I've never been so excited about any game release ever. But I'm so scared because, like, first of all, Square Enix fucked up majorly with Final Fantasy 15. And while I love the game, Final Fantasy 15 was great for what it was. It was not like the normal classic Final Fantasy game, and it was definitely not the best when it comes to story, but I loved it. And I enjoyed the shit out of it for around 300 hours playtime on different platforms. But I am so scared that just Square Enix is gonna fuck us over big time with Kingdom Hearts 3, and I've been waiting for this game ever since I finished Kingdom Hearts 2 back in 2006, which is now been 12 years, and in 2019 it will be 13 years. And it has been announced in 2007, I think, or 2008. So I've been waiting for this game for a long time. And Square Enix has been known now for also giving out season passes more regularly. And also cancelling season passes, by the way. Excuse me, what has that been with Final Fantasy 15? That pissed me off. But like, I'm just scared that they fucked me over. And
but you know what the likely scenario is that they pulled devs off of FF15 to work on Kingdom Hearts 3. Because that's what Square Enix does.
But like, for Final Fantasy 15, like the DLC was supposed to come out in 2019, and it was supposed to be my favorite DLC because it had my favorite character of all time in any video game, AnnaHighwind, hence my name, by the way. And like, it was a DLC about her, and she is a very interesting character. She has been shown in other DLCs as well in Final Fantasy 15, and she has also been seen in the game, like in the vanilla game. And she has been very interesting in my opinion. I mean, she is pretty hot. She's, like, even though she's very tough and all that, she has been very caring towards certain characters. So she's like, pretty much a waifu, especially because she can kick as well. And they just cancelled that DLC. The DLC everyone waited for the most, because Arania is actually, like, you know, one of the favorites. And as I said, I don't know, I'm scared because Square Enix...
It's cautious optimism,
yeah. No, I get it, 100%. I am both excited and absolutely terrified for Elder Scrolls 6 now.
Yeah,
because that's my favourite gaming series of all time, is the Elder Scrolls. And after this shit that Bethesda's pulled, I feel you. I up until E3, I was so excited for Elder Scrolls 6 when they teased it. Just thinking it's actually happening. It's finally happening after all these years. It's probably not going to get released until like 2022, 23, which will be, at that point, it'll be 12 years as well. And after this, I am not sure if I want them to make it, to be perfectly honest, which is a terrifying thought.
Yeah. No, I feel you. Well, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, this is the thing, I would not be surprised if it turns out that Square Enix, because this is the thing, Square Enix pulled devs off of Eidos Montreal, so not an internal Square Enix, like, development studio, they pulled devs off of Eidos Montreal whilst they were making Mankind Divided to work on FF15. I would not be surprised if they pulled devs off FF15 to work on Kingdom Hearts 3, and I would not be surprised even then if it turns out they pulled devs off of Kingdom Hearts 3 to work on the FF7 remake. Because Square Enix just does not know how to just go, okay, only you people are working on this game, only you people are working on this game.
Finish one game first, like, seriously.
That is the thing, and that is one of the reasons why Kingdom Hearts 3 was this delayed. Like, I mean, people were expecting it, and there were rumors that it would release back in, I think, 2015 or 2016. But devs have actually been pulled, and even one of the main devs actually has been pulled away from Kingdom Hearts 3 in order to that time it was still Final Fantasy Versus 13 to work on that, which then in turn turned to Final Fantasy 15. But people then were like asking for Kingdom Hearts 3, obviously, by the way. I mean, it's obvious that eventually someone will ask. Then they announce, stupidly enough, Final Fantasy 7 back in, what was it, 2013 or 14? So, like, just yet another major game to the series. And obviously they will need to have devs for that as well. And I don't know why... They just bring out so much, and it's so nice to see those games, finally happening. But just don't announce it when you're not even, like, in the making of it. It's just, like, at some point, it just gets so disappointing.
So I've actually had experience in this area to do with just people getting dropped in the middle of projects. So for my... I worked for... I mentioned this last week as well. I worked for a fire safety company for a year. And I was dropped... in the middle of I signed a confidentiality agreement, so I can't actually go into detail what it's about. But it's essentially configuration software for fire panels. And it was already halfway through development. I was still learning shit about the system as I was leaving the company a year later. If you get dropped into a middle of a project which you have no experience with, you didn't start that project with, it is so overwhelming to just sit down at your desk, seeing this project in front of you with the thousands of files and go, how the fuck am I meant to understand this system? How the fuck am I meant to program and add to this system without causing conflicts and bugs in other areas of the program? Because the amount of times my manager would come over in in the middle of a code review and say, oh, I'm afraid you can't do that here because elsewhere in the program this is going to get used in a particular way, so you're going to have to do it in this particular way. And he'd never treat it as my fault because he knew that I didn't have experience with this system. But that's the point. Like, if people, because we always had loads of code reviews and stuff because we were in safety, these kinds of things get caught in games, which again I discussed last week, where the kind of software quality assurance isn't anywhere near as high. These kinds of things are going to go unnoticed. So when you pull people from other projects and put them in a totally new project, when they inevitably make mistakes which aren't going to be their fault, and when you don't catch those mistakes, who is going to be the person at fault for making this technically inept game? Is it going to be the developer, or is it going to be the fucking management who starts just moving people around because they think it will benefit them? It's a horrible way of thinking. It's an absolutely stupid.
Isn't that also one of the initial problems that Dark Souls 2 had? Because, like, Dark Souls 1 was released, and then they were like... Port. So then you have, suddenly, something else was announced, because Dark Souls 1 was, not surprisingly, actually, it was a good game, was a hit, so they obviously a new game needed to be done. So they wanted to work on Dark Souls 2, but they also wanted to work on Bloodborne, which is a completely new IP, even though similar. And they put, I think, the Dev B team onto Dark Souls 2 then. So the A team, which obviously, it was a good decision because Bloodborne was amazing. So it was good that the A team worked on it. But initially what went wrong with Dark Souls 2 in many aspects was that it was just, like, not the A-team working on it. So, like, the people who worked on Dark Souls 1 were in the team for Bloodborne, which, again, it was a good decision, but maybe they should have, like, time-wise, I don't know, like, did it a little bit and made it a little bit different.
They should either pushed Bloodborne back or Dark Souls 2 back, one of the two.
Exactly, because, like, Dark Souls 2 in itself, I played it once. It was the only game I've only played once from the FromSoft games, actually. Every other game I've played several times.
It's the only FromSoft game that I've touched but not beaten. The only other game I've not beaten is Demon's Souls, which I just haven't touched.
Demon's Souls was amazing, by the way. But, like, Dark Souls 2 in itself, I think it was good. It was just not as good as it could have been.
Yeah, it just wasn't the same as well.
Yeah, exactly. And
they didn't. Again, the team didn't have the same experience as the team who worked on Dark Souls 1, and that's not their fault. It's just how they got assigned.
Exactly, and don't quote me on this, but I think it was EMB, Epic Name Bro, who said, I think, I'm not 200% sure, but Dark Souls 2 was a good game. It was just not a good Dark Souls game. And I kind of have to agree with that sentiment, because in itself it was really nice. Like, I mean, gameplay mechanics were a little bit wonky here and there, and obviously they could have been improved a lot. But generally it was a good game. But like for the Dark Souls series and for what the Dark Souls series is, also counting in Demon Souls, which was, again, absolutely amazing, Dark Souls 2 is just not reaching it. But as a game standing alone, I think it would have been amazing. But the expectation, obviously, to reach a Dark Souls 1 was there, and it just didn't do it. And I think that is also like when we were talking about dev teams and all that is, I think, something that went initially wrong, because the A team probably could have pulled something better, or at least put some people from the A team into the B team to, support it.
It's control it a little kind of like project management.
Well, let's hope that this all sort of just, I don't know.
Hope for the best. Prepare for the
hope
worst.
For the best kind of a scenario. It's a fingers crossed for the dear fans. Sort of thing. But it's Square Enix, so okay. I'll put it this way: they will likely have fucked something up in Kingdom Hearts 3. I do not think it would have been the entire game or an integral part of the game.
Yeah, I mean, like, even if they fuck something up, and I mean, that may sound a little bit hypocritical to what I have said before, but even if it's majorly fucked up, I will be still super excited. I will probably love the shit out of it, and I will cry my blimming. Yeah. Blimey eye out. Yeah. I can't talk English anymore. Bloody eyes out. There we go. I just love the game series, and I'll
put it this way, Anna. I think the most likely thing they're gonna quote unquote fuck up is they're gonna make the story even more convoluted.
That is not even a fuck up for me. You're talking to the wrong person here.
You have a point. You're a Kingdom Hearts fan, so I guess you're kind of used to it.
I mean, it's like, okay, so since I have played everything of Kingdom Hearts, or not necessarily played myself, but at least watched a playthrough of it, because Chains of Memories was, gameplay-wise, I didn't like it. It had an amazing story, though, so I went ahead and watched someone play it, and, watched the story and all that. And now that I have played everything, and I have also played everything in the chronological order, so not only the order they have released it in, but also the chronological one, it makes so much sense. Like, I don't know. I don't know how many people you have. I mean, you have watched Mulholland Drive, for example, yeah?
Yeah.
So
I haven't yet.
Yeah, I know. And that's why I will not go into details, so don't worry. But, like, there's this scene at the beginning of the movie, and I remember my brother saying, don't worry, in the end, everything will make sense. And for me, it just didn't make any sense, but, like, eventually everything will just make sense,
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it's the same with Kingdom Hearts, I think. It's just, you play one title and you're like, what the fuck did I just play? And then you just, play a little bit more, and then you're like, I got you. I don't know.
Well, speaking on...
yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. I was going to say, speaking as just like a dumb little tangent, speaking of little insects that just seem to just crawl in front of our view, so Artifact released on Steam Store.
Oh boy, here we go.
And the current reviews are sitting at a very healthy mixed, with 6,860 reviews.
I have some shit to say about this
on
game
the 28th.
Because I'm a big fan of card games, as you know, because I play a lot of Magic the Gathering. So, the game itself, the actual gameplay, is good. Just going to say that the actual way you play the game is good. Everything else...
From what I've seen, do correct me if I'm wrong, from what I've seen, the gameplay is Hearthstone.
It has similarities, yeah. It has similarities. Okay. But that's the kind of the same way of saying that Hearthstone has similarities to Magic. Like, on the surface, yeah, a lot of people looking on the outside will see similarities, but once you get into the game, they are very different.
Okay.
It's kind of like that. So the problem is everything else about the outside of the game, about how you acquire cards and how you build your decks, is utter shite, because it's not a healthy economy. When you're going to make a card game, especially with people coming back for more, like Magic, for instance, like the new MTG Arena, which is in beta right now, is not perfect yet, but they are improving it. I plan on streaming that a lot in the new year when it actually releases, because I fucking love Magic, and I've been waiting for an actual like pretty version of the online version of the game for ages. So that has a healthy economy of you can earn boosters for free. If you go into events, like if you go into an event, you are allowed up to 7 wins. But you get your return back after 2. So you only need to win 2 games to get equal stuff you got out as you put in. And what else is there? Oh yeah, you get wild cards as well, so you can craft any card to try and finish your deck. So it tries to make a healthy economy to keep people coming back for more. Artifact doesn't have that, because there is no way of earning cards for free. Like there's no way of just hang on, let me try and find, because I found a really good post on it earlier today, and they highlighted everything wrong with it. But essentially there is no free way of grinding for cards, because in their events, your win rate is capped to a certain percentage. Like I'm not sure the details of how it works, but essentially, you can only ever get to about 50% win rate in an event, which isn't enough to get a good reward. And there's no free way to grind cards. There's no wild cards or like the crafting system in Hearthstone to try and dismantle cards and make other ones. So you literally have to buy packs until you get the cards you want. Yeah,
like it's like mandatory microtransaction.
Yeah, it is pretty much mandatory to play the game, which is why it's mixed.
I'm looking at the Steam reviews, and the biggest complaint is the microtransactions and the someone here describes it as the ungrindable grind.
Yeah, exactly, because you can't just grind for free cards or value. Because a lot of MTGO players make a living off of playing MTG Online, because they just grind for free packs. They convert every now and again they pull a really valuable card and they sell it on the marketplace and they get profit out of it. That's how they live, and they stream that as well, so they get revenue from streaming. People make a living out of that. You can't do that with Artifact, barring the streaming side, putting that aside. Just playing the game, you can't do that because of the way that the economy is set up. It gets even worse when you actually try and buy a large amount of cards at once. So there's this guy I follow on Twitter called Tom Ross. He has been a Magic player, a veteran for years and years. He's been playing it for longer than I've been alive. He's one of the he's been playing it for a long time, and he also, for a time, up until recently actually, he worked for Wizards of the Coast developing new sets of cards. So he was actually making cards for a living, and game design and stuff. So he knows his shit to do with card games. And he wanted to give Artifact a go, and because he has the money, like he's also quite a successful professional Magic player, so he wins a lot of prize money and stuff. He put $200 into. I'm reading his tweets verbatim now. Put $200 into Steam games to buy cards on Artifact, to try it out. I'm now locked out of the marketplace for buying too fast is my only guess, and have been unable to get anyone on phone. Hell of a way to introduce your card game. So because he was buying so much, they assumed his account was hacked. But no, because of the economy that they set up, he was buying lots of packs to try and build decks to play the game. So then he goes on a Twitter thread about it. Like, he sends screenshots. Your account appears to have been used for fraudulent activity. And he says, I can literally talk to someone for 2 seconds to confirm I'm actually me, so I can play the game, and yet no one's doing it. He @s Steam Games and Artifact multiple times, saying, "Hi, it's me again. 2 days later, I'm invested $200 into trying to play your game when it drops tomorrow, and I've got no responses. I'm still looking forward to completing a deck and playing your game on the day of release, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to if I can't get into my account. He keeps going. 2 days later, so 4 days in total, he's phoning them up. No acknowledgement. Steam support doesn't. It turns out Steam support doesn't accept messages on Twitter except the 48 people they follow, so the direct message won't work either. So,
wow.
Again, and in the end of it, he just says, like, I've been more disappointed in business from Valve and Steam in the past 2 days than I have ever been, and he's like, it's stupid. Oh wait, also, the last one, he says he tries to log into his Steam account to contact Steam report, and it says, there have been too many login failures from your network in a short period. Please wait and try again later. And he says his login information is 100% correct, so that's not the issue.
Jesus Christ.
It's an absolute mess. And
Yeah,
I'm reading a review here. I'm reading one of the Steam reviews here. It says, bought dud tutorial, got 2 axes from first 10 packs, played 1 game, sold all cards for $40, time for Gwent.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't blame him.
Well, that's a flop then, isn't it?
It's completely.
Well,
I don't see how they can maintain something healthy to get people coming back for more with this setup, especially if you're going to lock people out of their accounts for buying a lot of cards.
When your game is released and your player's upset, now it's time for a round of Gwent.
I actually want to play Gwent. I have never played it.
Fucking do it. It's
I
great.
really want to.
Like you and I should play it, Anna.
Magic is expensive and complicated to get into. It's super fun. I love it. But if you just want a fun time with a card game that's a lot cheaper, go for Gwent. 100%.
Yeah, I think it's. I correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the PC version of Gwent is free. I think.
I believe so. Yeah. It does have like
so
buying packs and stuff as usual, but that's expected with a card game.
This is the thing. A lot of reasons why people are angry at Artifact is because it's got a $20 base price.
Oh yeah, that's well.
Microtransactions. I see one of the reviews that like it, like the game, 32.8 hours on record, saying the reason it can't be free to play is because there would be bots everywhere and trying to game the market system. Well, surely that would be Valve's jobs to detect the bots.
I also like to point out that's actually a benefit to your economy.
Yeah.
Bots actually being in the marketplace is a benefit because that's how you trade on MTGO. You go to a bot. The ticket price for cards is flat. Like you're probably not gonna. It fluctuates generally, but everyone fluctuates at the same rate. It's like this one rate that everyone abides to. So you can go onto the marketplace. You can open up a chat with the bot. You can request the cards you want. Their price will be the price that they're going for, and you can buy them like super fast. There's also a website called Mana Traders that allows you to rent cards for a time, which is actually amazing. You just request the cards you want. They give you to them for however long you want. I think it's up to like 4 or 5 days, and you just return them afterwards. It's actually a really good system, but it's all based on bots. So the fact that you're saying that you don't want bots in your game, that's actually not good.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not good. And then, of course, you have MTG Arena as well, which is also free to play. So, like, this is the thing. This was like the first online card game that's ever come out. Sure, I can see them making mistakes, but there are so many examples out there already for the past 20 years. How do you fuck this up? Like, even other systems like Hearthstone and Gwent have slightly different systems, but they're all based on the same principle. You just have to look at their examples, and maybe you want to adjust it yourself, but don't fucking go so far off the rails that you make this. What is this?
I think you'll be able to provide me specific examples, but in every single genre of the gaming industry, you have the 2 top killers leading that genre, and then a weird third one. Which will be the popular ones, and then there's every other game. For example, like the Battle Royale phenomenon at the moment, the top games are like going down are Fortnite, Black Ops 4, and PUBG. And then you have all your other ones. I would assume that for the video game card game genre. I'm assuming, correct me if, for whichever way around this will be, I'm assuming it goes, I don't know, Hearthstone. I don't know what the second one would be.
It'll probably be Hearthstone, Magic, Gwent, to be honest. And even then,
wouldn't Yu-Gi-Oh come into that, or is that not like online?
Sorry,
I mean, there is the phone Yu-Gi-Oh game.
It's not big enough, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not big enough, but it's a different market.
Yeah, like I saw, like I actually do have the games for Nintendo DS. They are actually quite addicting, I have to say.
Yeah.
I don't know how big it is on like online wise.
Yeah,
so
it's
that's
not
why
huge.
I was wondering.
Yeah, but I'll even go as far to
it's not
say
huge, but there is a little bit there. That would be one of the sort of like from fourth downwards. Sort of like it'd be somewhere
probably.
in there. But yeah, like Chip said, like that would be sort of like the ordering of that. Artifact is not even going to be like the weird third.
Nowhere
one,
near. It's nowhere near.
It's being made. It's being made by Valve.
Yeah.
Like this is like a testament to like the state of the company at the moment.
Remember when
It's
Valve used to make
obsessed with
games and
making
not money?
No, because I missed out on I missed out of like release time Half-Life Portal of Team Fortress 2. Basically everything that made that company I missed out on, but like I can still see, hey, they did used to make games. But yeah. Speaking of speaking of rejects, anyway, Cyanide and Happiness's game, Rapture Rejects, released as well. That released
I have not
2 days
looked
ago.
at this actually.
This is the thing. I'm bringing this up because at the moment it's sitting on a mostly positive review on Steam. What I didn't know is because I think this was shown off at an E3 or something. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, obviously.
Oh yeah, no, I do remember something
but
vaguely about it.
This thing, they didn't show off any or much of the game, I think. But what I did not expect it to be was a battle royale.
Wait, is it?
This is a top-down, isometric, 2D and like flash animated like battle royale. It doesn't say it's a battle royale, from what I can tell from the Steam page, but there's a specific bit in the gameplay where you see a ring of fire enclosing in on players who are trying to kill each other. So this strikes me as a battle royale, but like, you know, with a theme, and it's made by the people who made Cyanide and Happiness.
Maybe like it could be a battle royale, but maybe they just have like put on some like those challenges from battle royales as the elements. Like League of Legends did it in like one of their latest updates, I think in September it was. That like they actually implemented some of like the challenges you had to like overcome in order to, you know, survive. They put it into League of Legends matches. The only difference was in order to win, you would kind of need to, you know, like, or in order to get perks, you would have to win those challenges. Like they also had like this burning circle thing.
This is definitely a battle royale.
Okay.
I just read like the actual description for the product at the top. The Rapture has happened. You didn't make the cut. Rapture Reject is a top-down isometric last man standing game set in the apocalyptic Cyanide and Happiness universe.
Oh boy.
So yeah, it is a battle royale. I'm not objecting into it being a battle royale. I just
not what I
literally
expected.
had no idea that it was going to be a battle royale. I had no idea at all.
I'm not adverse to the idea, but
they've got like a little player like showing them live streaming it as right now as of this recording. It's still in early access, by the way. It's released in early access. Just to clarify, it's not properly released. But yeah, this is. I'm looking at like live gameplay of it right now. This is a total battle royale. Oh, and it's got Tiny Build helping with the development in some state. I don't know whether they're the devs or they're using the Tiny Build engine. I don't know. But yeah, this I'm looking at live gameplay. This is literally just PUBG, but top down isometric Cyanide and Happiness universe. Yeah.
Does it?
I'll have to look at
like,
it. Yeah.
It's got the same camera as XCOM 2.
Okay.
Like
kind of like Don't Starve as well. But
yeah,
that kind of
but
camera.
like isometric. Like you can rotate the camera around, but it has to be at like set angles.
Yeah, that's exactly like Don't Starve.
Yeah, like, damn. I did not expect this because I haven't looked into the game. That's the entire reason why I'm bringing it up, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
It's like, legitimately just had no idea it was going to be like this, but fair enough. I mean, if it works out for them, it works out for them. Cool. Right. Speaking of other things that got rejected as well, something I'm just bringing up that I'm not incredibly sad on it or anything. I am just disappointed and makes me want to see this film less. I didn't have much interest to begin with, but it makes me want to see this less. The Lion King live action, this thing, they're calling it a live action remake when there is no live action.
It's all CGI.
Yeah.
It's all CGI and they're still calling it live action remake.
It's the same with Detective Pikachu. It's apparently a live action Pokemon movie, but I mean, let me know when you find real Pokemon.
That has live action people.
Okay. That's excusable.
That has actual people in it, whereas the Lion King one has no people in it, no animal actors, it is all CG. So that's why I'm annoyed at them calling it the live action remake. But that's not what I'm on about. What I'm on about is that they are removing the Be Prepared song and in fact the entire scene. For any of you who've watched The Lion King who remember it, that's probably actually one of my favorite.
I really like that scene.
Movies. They are removing the Be Prepared song and scene because, well, Nazi imagery was used in the original, and it's like, well, yeah, it was. It was to make the bad guy look like a bad guy.
Yeah.
What's the best way to do that? Oh, I know. Make comparisons towards Nazis. That's a pretty effective thing, you know. It wasn't like unwarranted or ham-fisted in or anything. It was literally about a guy who's like, I'm gonna kill the person who is running the country and take over in literally impacting and influencing my own regime. He was fucking the bad guy of Lion King is fucking Hitler. Of course they're gonna use a scene where in his musical they have hyenas marching like Nazis. It makes sense. It's fine. It's not an of the times thing or like I fucking hate this current political climate where like you can't even make fun of Nazis without getting like fucking accused of being racist. It's like, excuse me, the entire point is to make this group of people look evil. How are we going to do that? I don't know. Why don't we compare them to Nazis? Oh, you can't compare them to Nazis. If you're bringing up the Nazis, you're racist.
That's
I don't want to get too political, but surely the only people offended by people insulting Nazis are Nazis.
Are Nazis?
Yeah.
Fucking Nazis! Surprisingly enough, yeah, that's how it should be. But no!
Stupid, yeah.
Why? That's the best. Okay, in my opinion, that is the best damn song in that entire fucking film. I love that song. It's evil. It's malevolent. It's fucking. It's good.
You gotta have a good villain song. You can't have a musical without a villain song, like fucking Killer Queen in We Will Rock You, or what was the one in fucking. I forget the name, but. Yeah, you've got to have that one section of the film, which is the villain singing the evil song. You get to see them a little bit more, and it justifying you hating the character or wanting to hate the character. If you remove that, then what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand it either, to be honest. And like I also like, I mean, I get that some movies or also shows. Or games even are supposed to always, like, I don't know, have, like, a bigger message. Like, be it now political, religious, or also philosophy or anything
like that. Yeah, like
that.
Far Cry, like the Far Cry 5 thing I was talking about.
Yeah, like, I get that some people want to see it, or, like, want to make it, like, something bigger, but sometimes it's supposed to be evil and they want to bring something over, and it's working. I mean, just... leave it be, and as you guys said, the only people being offended, by someone offending Nazis are Nazis. They are the only one who would be complaining. So, like them just taking it out is just like I don't know, in my opinion, a statement in itself. And
it seems to be like the entire world is now screaming, if you offend Nazis, you're racist. Excuse me? What? No. It's not how it works.
no, it's really not.
To be honest, I think it's even general that is if you offend anyone, you're some kind of ist.
Yeah,
It gets there's a difference between being a legitimate, like a hateful person and saying, like, making a joke about something and actually having your life ruined over it.
Yeah,
it's a completely different thing.
Fucking hell!
I just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed at annoyed at this. It's the best song in the entire thing, with one of the best scenes ever. Also, I personally, I'm probably not going to see it. I'm definitely not going to see it now, but I probably wasn't going to see it to begin with, because it's like, from what I could tell from the trailer, it is a shot-for-shot remake of the original, just in CG, and that interests me not at all. I'd rather just go watch the original again.
I have to say though, because I love Disney movies a lot, and I think The Lion King is still one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. Except Frozen, because Frozen is amazing. Fight me on that. But I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna let go of it, haha, and I will still watch it.
Kill yourself.
All right, so
Whoa!
so
You did not.
I hope you all enjoyed having Anna on the podcast. This is a goodbye.
Yeah, we're literally kicking her out of the Discord call as we speak.
Guys, all right, you can judge me all you want, but I love Frozen, and I don't know. Do you guys have this one movie or show or song or game you just go back to when you feel absolutely miserable and you instantly, I don't know, kind of feel at peace again?
Folklore. Yeah. Every time.
Yeah, I
have played it earlier this year.
Yeah, I have Final Fantasy games, and I love them, and they make me feel at peace, or have Kingdom Hearts again. But Frozen, I've watched this movie 5 times this year. I'm not lying. And every
Anna,
time
we
I
weren't
watched
criticizing you for liking Frozen. We were criticizing you for doing a Let It Go pun.
Well, you should know me by now. If you keep doing it, I'll just bring back the bean joke. Gosh.
I don't mind
rather that than the Let It Go joke.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
So how have you been, Sealion?
Hey.
Yeah, fine. Well, no, I would be fine if it wasn't for the fact that you made a Let It Go joke, but hey, let's move on. Speaking of things I won't let go, the Shrek Retold movie got released on 3GI's YouTube channel. The thing I brought up in the very first episode of the podcast, of over 200 creators recreating the Shrek movie, Shrek 1, has been released onto YouTube.
I'm not sure I want to see it, but my curiosity is overwhelming.
Dude, I've managed to watch the first 9 minutes of it, and it's fucking amazing. Currently it's sitting on 594,000 views with 49,000 likes.
Okay, when I have a spare 90 minutes, I may try and sit through that, but no promises.
It's an hour and 30 minutes long, and from what I can tell, it is well worth it.
By the way, guys, am I also am I the only one here who actually unironically likes Shrek?
No, Shrek's great.
No, Shrek's fucking good.
Shrek 1 is fucking amazing.
Shrek 1 and 2 are great. Shrek 3 is meh, Shrek 4 is garbage, but Shrek 1 and 2, that doesn't change the fact that the first 2 are amazing.
Yeah, I can watch the first one still, and I just enjoy myself, thoroughly. It's amazing. I really like it.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, no, same.
Yeah. There's no irony in liking Shrek 1. None at all.
No, because whenever you say, "Oh yeah, I really like Shrek 1," and everyone is like, "You like Shrek? Are you a memer?" And I'm like, "None."
Oh god. I see which perspective you mean. Okay, but it's legitimately a good movie. Like the same way how Undertale is a legitimately good game with a fucking amazing soundtrack, but it gets memed out to hell.
Yeah. Oh god, don't get me started on that.
Sorry.
Alright.
Hey,
that's cool.
All Stars also a really good song. I like it.
Okay, you're wrong, but you're allowed to like it the same way I like it, and I also like, there's another song by Smash Mouth called Walking on the Sun.
Oh,
I like that as well.
Smash Mouth is actually quite alright, honestly.
Also, am I the only one that also prefers the cover of I Need a Hero in Shrek 2 to the actual original?
Oh, yeah.
Yes!
I fucking
That
love
cover's
that
brilliant.
cover.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Right, there's only one more news article I want to bring up. I'm posting it now. It's literally something I just found out. Nintendo are scrapping the Creators Program, making life easier for YouTubers. Thank Christ. So, for anyone who doesn't know, Nintendo were doing a thing where, like, if you wanted to upload any content on Nintendo, like showing games or trailers or anything, you would have to sign up to Nintendo's Creators Club sort of thing.
Oh, God.
Creators Program, and basically it would be like you had to be YouTube partner, and Nintendo would take a cut of your ad revenue from it, and it was a fairly large such portion. And it turns out, surprise, surprise, that they just like didn't work. The official tweet from the Nintendo of America was, "The Nintendo Creators Program is coming to a close at the end of December. Thanks to everyone who participated in the program." And then just a link.
Well, it'll give YouTubers
But
a few
did
more...
it only affect YouTubers and not Twitch streamers? I mean, it would still be Nintendo content, right?
Let's see, it goes into it in the article. Creators must also use monetization methods approved by Nintendo, such as YouTube's partner program and Twitch affiliate program, among others. No Patreon plugs for you, although this is apparently due to be updated further along the line. So, it did affect Twitch streamers.
How did they what kind of cut would they take from affiliates? Like,
I have no idea.
It's just
if it was like the YouTube, if it was like the YouTube side, it would have been a stupidly sized amount. So, like, the program, which launched in 2015, allowed content creators to receive 60% of the advertising revenue from videos containing Nintendo intellectual property, or 70% if they chose to designate their entire YouTube channel.
Jesus Christ.
So that's shit.
Well, at least YouTubers will have a few more months of good content before Article 13 comes out then.
Don't remind me.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking of just moving to Norway. I think that is
I was just gonna say that when Article 13 stuff started cropping up, like when the proposal of the bill came up, like not before it even got like accepted or anything, or like any of the amendments were made, I brought it up to my mother and I was like, I am genuinely heartbroken.
Yeah, same.
She didn't fully understand why, because it was like involving, stuff involving the internet and like copyright and all that stuff. She's not super familiar on any of it. I basically boiled down to, because this is what it is, I boiled it down to her as, if you took a photo of yourself wearing anything that had the Dolce & Gabbana like brand like recognizable on it, or like even if someone at Dolce & Gabbana recognized that you were wearing one of their dresses or something, Dolce & Gabbana could do a myriad of options, including tell you to take your post of the photo down, like saying like not suing you but fining you for copyright.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a whole myriad of can of worms, and it's still to this day like I am doing everything I can on my end to like fucking push as many representatives as I can to get off their asses, actually look at what they voted for, because there's a guy called Countdown Killer who was very, very like trying to stop this, or like trying to amend it so that it wouldn't be so fucky as it is, and he talked to representatives after they voted to go ahead with it about what they actually voted for, and barely, I think he said like 2 of them knew what they voted for.
Yeah.
And he was he was talking to like 50 odd representatives. Like, that is fucking despicable.
Yeah, they don't know what they're voting for because they don't use the internet themselves that much. Like the fucking The new, who was it? It was something, the new cyberspace or cyber head of cybersecurity for, I want to say Singapore. Never used a computer before in his life, or something.
Oh Jesus!
I can't remember which country it was, but that's definitely something. But,
the thing is with Article 13 and the people standing behind it and like trying to pull it through, like there are two problems I have noticed so far. And now bear in mind, I'm actually visiting a school where we like go through like business programs and also politic programs and all that. And so like the first initial problem is because the internet is just growing bigger, so the market on the internet is also bigger. So the one market that is taking a hit from, you know, the internet just like being the biggest media now out there is TV. So like all the TV channels are just growing weaker and smaller, and people want to hold it, like they want to hold it big because the government, not only the government, but like generally other medias and companies and all that have more influence on the TV channels than they have on internet. And the second problem is that there are just like so many people who just don't have any knowledge and or don't want to have an understanding about how much the internet and also not only memes but like general like censorship and also copyright kind of stuff is actually influencing the generation now. And I mean, it's us young people who are like, again, like affected by this, but the people who are deciding over it are just people who don't have the knowledge or don't want to have the knowledge or the understanding for it. And those are just like the two initial problems. So first it's TV channels, obviously, and they want to keep the control, and they have more control over the TV than they have over the internet. And obviously, again, just this fucking old people. I'm sorry to say that, but fucking
no, you're right. You're right.
People.
I found the article, by the way. Just for a little clarification, it was Japan's new cybersecurity minister. He has admitted that he's never used a computer.
And he's Japanese?
Oh, Jesus, Anna.
He's also in. He's also in charge of the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. So yeah.
Yeah.
But what was I? I was going to say something. I forgot.
I think you got distracted by Anna's blatant racism.
I'm sorry. Can we cut it out?
If you pay me.
Oh, okay.
How much? Do you need me to sub more people? See? I can do that.
I think we should move on before it gets even more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Alright, so that does it for the news. It's time to move on to the questions. We have a shit ton, actually, if we're counting.
I haven't looked
since the post.
So
since the post of the last podcast, we've had questions technically since last Monday. Right, this is like all very impromptu. We haven't screened a lot of these. We never screen questions because usually there isn't enough.
Where does it fucking start?
From where I posted the last week's episode.
Oh god, right, that is a long way up.
So, Punished Barrel asks, why is Claire de Lune so relaxing even though all I could think of was horror games? It's because Evil Within and a bunch of horror movies decided, hey, why don't we take this score, Claire de Lune, I'll be playing it in the background right about now, for anyone who doesn't know it by name, but it's usually like a very calming, very relaxing bit of piano theme, and Evil Within along a bunch of horror movies decided, hey, why don't we take this, it's a juxtaposing thing of like, why don't we take this thing that is usually very calming and soothing and just use it to like, ooh, look at the horror, look at us, we're being artsy because we're using the very basic like technique of juxtaposition, and yeah, that's why all you can think of is horror games, because Evil Within. Barrel's pointing out something that I said on last week's episode, because what I said last week's episode was that Bethesda were going to give Obsidian a bonus if Fallout New Vegas received a particular score on Metacritic. Barrel's pointing out that they missed their bonuses by 1 point. The goal was 85. New Vegas got an 84.
And it was made in 8
And it was
months
made-
as well, and it was arguably
because
the best Fallout game so far.
Because Bethesda pushed up the release date so that they wouldn't have to give them the bonuses, and they missed it by 1 point.
Oh, Jesus
So
Christ.
I
didn't
still
know
maintain
that.
to this very day, fuck Bethesda.
Yeah, no, agreed. Especially after recent events.
Yeah, I had like a very small conversation with him here in the questions bit. It's like, he bought the microtransactions for the special power orbs, and he's saying how, like for DMC4, he's basically saying how he just didn't have the time to, like, you know, get them like by going back into levels, and that's more than fair enough.
One thing about Bethesda, actually, before it's a little bit of a light-hearted fuck up this time instead of a serious one. Did you see the person that ordered 2 copies of Fallout 76 but got 2 copies of Mirror's Edge Catalyst instead?
Yes, I saw that tweet.
It's not even
saw that.
It's not even the Bethesda game. Excuse me. I'm just confused.
Yeah, did you see that, Anna?
Like, because he got the games in the end. So it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's not really a big deal. But I just want to know how the fuck that happened. Like, that's just confusing. Yeah.
Did you see that, Anna?
Can you say that again? I'm sorry. What did you say?
So someone
My
ordered.
internet just fucked up.
Oh, okay.
No worries.
But someone ordered 2 copies of Fallout 76, and instead they got 2 copies of Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
Wait, what?
Delivers. Yeah, I know. It's an EA game. It's not even Bethesda. I have no idea how that.
Hilarious.
No idea how that happened, and
Yeah.
neither do Bethesda. They tweeted at them with that Homer Simpson meme of him going into the bush. They were just like, "What the fuck happened?" And then afterwards, like, "Oh, seriously, just we'll send another 2 copies. You can feel free to keep the games as a confused apology." That was just weird.
Yeah. Barrel's pointing out there's a car in space right now. I kind of knew that about like 8 months ago.
Yeah, that was
I think
that was
at this
ages
point.
ago.
Yeah, I don't know why he did that, but okay. Ryan Darkclaw643, good artist mate of ours, who's the guy who drew my current profile picture that I'm using on Discord. Question: would each episode have a guest in it? Supposed plan is that hopefully, maybe we can get a guest in every other week. So like,
Yeah.
no guest, no guest, that kind of thing. But we tend to play it by ear, see how things go, you know. But yeah, that's the plan. We have a guest on right now.
Hello.
Anna,
by the way, backwards spelled Anna. I hate myself.
I mean, you are right. Anna spelled backwards is still Anna.
Hey, it's a palindrome.
You're a palindrome. I'm just scrolling down now to find the next question.
Yeah, can we skip those bits in between?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, just because we're pressed.
Getting
on
late.
that, yeah,
You changed my fucking. I only just noticed that.
What?
You changed my nickname.
Oh yeah, it's a major spear hazard. Yeah.
Thanks for that, by the way.
You're welcome. If Doom Eternal has got an invasion system, how long until game journalists compare it to Dark Souls?
Before
They
release.
already did.
Yeah.
They did it upon seeing the E3 trailer. They
Yeah.
said, "Hey, Doom Eternal's like Dark Souls because you have PvP invasions." Like,
we've
fuck off.
already covered this to death. Let's just say the game journalists
Yeah,
are stupid and move on.
Yeah, we'll move on. All right, that's where I did the at. Okay, how big is the gay of C?
Extremely.
Very yes. Question answered.
Can I
We'll
just
guest
say
return.
yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. Will guest return? Yeah, Anna will return at some week. Hopefully, in a week where we will still have Volk as well. Should do. At some point. Is dabbing a sin?
Yes.
How many bean jokes does it take to break the podcast?
Can I test it?
No.
So-
No.
So, guys,
We're moving.
Sea Line, cut this out.
Yeah.
but guys,
Chastity.
this is very
no.
important.
It's no. We know the answer already.
So it would
And
be
it's-
one. It would be one,
No.
Nomad.
It would be a few because knowing you would just keep saying it over and over again until we start yelling.
Yes.
Next question: are chastity belts causing global warming? No idea. Something for a scientist or someone researching into global warming to look at, I guess. But if it is, then I am all for banning chastity belts. I'm actually writing that down. Chastity belts are causing global warming.
What kind of question is that? Oh dear.
Pala asks, what kind of question? Any question you like. Is it, Amy Spartus asks again, is it still gay if it's Nick Cage? Will Todd Howard ever give his dick a break from fucking Bethesda fans?
For that second one,
To
no.
the first... No. And to the first question...
Yes.
I'd also like to point out that the fans also hate Todd Howard as much as he apparently hates them, because there was a mod for Fallout 76 that came out the other day where you can crucify Todd Howard. I'm going to find that article right now.
Please do. Please do. Here's one last Fallout 76 question. Yay.
God.
I saw an interesting theory that the level perk card system originally was going to be similar system to Destiny 2's engram system, but got changed due to Battlefront 2 and Destiny 2 sucking the shit. What do you guys and gals think about that, and how the aftermath of those scandals might affect future games that originally planned for similar loot box systems? Now,
yeah.
We are currently in a thing where I'm basically, to say his name again, I'm basically on the same boat as Jim Sterling. The game industry didn't regulate itself, so now the government are getting involved. It is entirely the publishers that pushed for these gambling systems and the ASRB's fault. It is entirely their fault.
You say they took it out and changed it, but they changed it in the most ridiculous way. Like, it's no better than that, really. It's random perks that you have to choose from, so it's essentially still gambling.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
It's not that much different. And I found that article, by the way. A Fallout 76. I'll put it in the Discord. A Fallout 76 mod lets you crucify the game's creator along with Bethesda's VP of Global Marketing, Pete Hines. Fans of the Fallout series of the game is always up for a good joke. It's called Crucified Degenerates. swapping out a couple of unimportant crucified NPCs. Oh, sorry, it's a mod for New Vegas, not 76, but obviously relating to 76. But it swaps out a couple of unimportant crucified NPCs with two of the executives at Bethesda.
I'm just now imagining just like I haven't played the game, but I've seen just the meme, the GIF thrown around a lot. I'm just imagining I think it's like Benny in New Vegas just turning around, and it's actually Todd Howard. He still goes, "What in the goddamn?"
Yeah,
and then it just cuts. It just cuts to Todd Howard on the crucifix.
Yeah.
But yeah, the aftermath is that, well, the government are getting involved. EA are under investigation for basically criminal activities because of their loot boxes.
I would be surprised if Bethesda followed with the refund thing.
Yeah, well, I'll put it to you this way. EA are dying on the wrong hill for the wrong reasons, and they are just going to ruin it for everybody. Like, it's going to get to a step where literally just the concept of loot boxes, no matter whether it's in a paid game or a free game, are just going to be illegal. Which, like, I think loot boxes are fine in a free game. Like, you kind of expect it from that market of, like, hey, free game, and then here's, like, a microtransaction-y sort of a thing to get in it. I'm fine with, like, loot boxes still being around so long as they are actively, legally classified as being gambling, because that is what they are. They are fucking gambling. So, EA has ruined it for everyone else. The ASRB didn't do their fucking jobs. And, child gambling's got up in the UK on record because of it. So, fuck them. Fuck them. They ruined it for themselves. They bubble burst.
Yep, and Indie Mouse posted a quality meme about the bag fiasco as well. I'll put that in the Discord as well.
Do, please. Will you have a short segment where you answer all my shitpostery questions? No, I don't think we should encourage that.
Like,
you already did, though.
It's kind of questionception here.
Yeah.
Fucking goddamn.
You've been played, Sealion.
I totally didn't realise that I was doing that the entire time and just wasting time for the sake of it. Pala asks, what do you guys think of the current gaming company practice? You're gonna have to narrow it down with that.
Just watch the past 2 hours.
I mean,
we've said plenty of things.
I mean, to narrow it down, like especially like when it comes to microtransaction and all that kind of stuff, I personally think if it's like for accessories and all that, like, you know, buying extra stuff. For example, like in League of Legends, you know, like you are able to buy skins with like actual currency, and I think that's totally fine. I mean, it's
fine because it doesn't
cosmetic.
change the game.
Exactly, and I mean, the thing is, you can still with actual currency buy characters, or you can grind them free, basically.
Yep.
I think that should be like something you should be able to only grind for, because like someone could still be then, you know, like pay to win this kind of thing. Generally though, I think the concept League of Legends has, as much as it's also like definitely sell out, I think is quite alright, and I think that company practice kind of works out as much as the community is toxic. Generally, I don't think a lot about microtransactions in games that you already have paid full price for. And that is my kind of opinion, like just in a very short manner, because I mean, we've been here for a long time and we already talked about it a lot.
We talked excessively about it last week as well.
Yeah.
But
alright.
We
this one exclusively to Anna. Does she enjoy dressing up her space dolls in Warframe?
First of all, those are space ninjas, or robot ninjas rather. And yes, I actually do. I think the whole I think the whole cosmetic stuff in Warframe is a really neat thing, you know, customizing it all and like kind of making it your Warframe, making it look absolutely freaky if you want to, or just like very neat and classy. I think it's a very cool thing, and I enjoy I enjoy it a lot, and I kind of want to do it more.
Nice. I'm still yet to find the time to play it.
Definitely play it, Sea Lion.
I will. I'm gonna ignore that. From Spartan. Igor asks, I got a question for Anna. Is the KH games, in the KH games, Kingdom Hearts only, which of the worlds was your favourite or favourites?
That's a difficult one.
Just list off your favourite worlds, I guess.
I'll just go off Kingdom Hearts 2, because it's still my favourite Kingdom Hearts, I have to say. It's definitely Hollow Bastion, and I really like the Lion King world. Those are definitely my favorites. My least favorite, though, even though he didn't ask for it, but I want to mention it, is Ariel's, or how do you pronounce her?
Ariel,
Ariel.
The little
Ariel.
Yeah. You mentioned that on stream. You hate that underwater one.
World. Also in Kingdom Hearts 1, just fuck it, alright? That's it.
I mean, Ariel's the worst Disney princess. It makes sense that she would have the worst world in Kingdom Hearts.
It's just so stupid as well in Kingdom Hearts 2. It's just a fucking musical. Come on. But yeah, right. That's it.
Okay. Who's your favorite?
Xehanort.
What is that?
Xehanort is basically the villain in Kingdom Hearts, and he kind of returns like every now and again in a different shape or form, which is why when so there are characters shown sometimes with yellow eyes, and they are called, they have been knotted, and it's become a meme by now that everyone has basically been knotted. I don't know who technically would be my favorite Xehanort, because I am not a fan of him generally, but I think if anything it would be Terranort. The people who play Kingdom Hearts will know what I mean with that.
Okay. Since you now got this podcast, would this mean we finally get some WWE style storylines? Because I know you would like to say McMahon's greatest line only in regards to Trip. I will not say what it is.
You're gonna have
I know
to
exactly what he's on
You're gonna
about.
have to clarify that
no.
for me because I don't know WWE shit.
No, exactly. That's why I'm not going to say anything about it.
Okay, I'm gonna look this up now.
Two odds. No, don't. You'll spoil it.
Oh.
Don't. You'll spoil it for yourself, all right? But to answer your question, Igor, it's possible. I might workshop a thing. I'm reading Spartan's next meme question that
Can I answer it?
I do not understand. I don't understand it, so go ahead.
So he is asking, what is your honest opinion and the literal on the literal epic that is Homestuck, and he means Homestuck once again.
I didn't read it because I got put off by the fandom.
Oh yeah, me neither. That's why I wanted to say suck it, yo.
Nice. One more for tonight. What's your guys' New Year's resolution? Mine is not to make New Year's resolutions because I don't stick to them.
I've been exactly like that for the past fucking 5 or 6 years or so, but I think I'm actually going to try and do one this year, which is just going to be try and not get fat again, basically. I'm going to try and lose some.
Sick.
I'm going to try and lose some weight, and I'm going to try and keep that weight lost, basically.
Nice.
No more Ben and Jerry's for me.
You got this, Trip. I believe in you. And for me,
I haven't had a Ben and
Oh.
Jerry's in a month though. Oh.
I love Ben and Jerry's.
It feels bad. I used to have so much though. It's so good though.
Well,
Cut it.
up until what day was it? Up until 1 or 2 days ago, I hadn't had McDonald's for I want to say a month. Because the only time I ever order McDonald's, McDonald's food is garbage. It's shit. It's disgusting. The only time I order it is when I want to be the laziest fucking prick in the world at that given moment. And up until a couple of days ago, I literally just hadn't had it in a good month or two. Because I was just there's no point. So, yeah, I believe in you. Because if I can do that, I'm pretty sure you can give up Ben and Jerry's. What about you, Anna? What's your... Do you have a New Year's resolution?
I actually have two, and one of them is quite the opposite of what Trip said.
You can try and gain weight.
I lost an hilarious amount of weight, and I will not get into detail on that one, but it's definitely needed that I gain some weight.
Yeah.
So I will try to, find a diet that is going to help me with that, and then obviously, helps me keep it at a certain point as well. Not that I don't want to, gain too much weight, but a healthy amount. And my second one is I just want to get mentally better to the point of me being able to stream again, that I can fully enjoy it without having fear to go live. And
yeah, I guess it.
Making this all then finally my profession to eventually become partner.
Hey, nice. You'll definitely get there.
You'll get there, yeah.
Right.
I believe in you.
Thank you.
And second last question. Got a question, but I wish... not a question, sorry. I wish you both Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you, Paula. Same to you.
Cheers, Paula.
I just realised this will likely be going up either on the 1st or 2nd of December. So, yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with us saying Merry Christmas and shit.
I was just about to say, we started this recording in November.
It's December now.
Technically. This is the time now to start saying and start celebrating Christmas, because we're in December. No, I was going to get into a whole personal thing of I don't like Christmas being celebrated in November.
Same.
I want to break
same.
between Halloween and Christmas. Okay, but we'll move on.
Dude,
last question is:
I don't like Christmas being celebrated in the first 2 weeks of December.
Yeah,
I don't like Christmas full stop, but yeah,
Me
that's another conversation.
last question is: can I ban Spartan? Yeah, why not?
All right.
Here's the thing, yeah. I mean, he's a meme boy, but his laugh. Have you ever listened to that?
Yeah,
that gives me laugh.
Yeah, I have.
That gives me laugh.
I have, yeah.
Can't ban
I think I heard his laugh when I told Kiki that thing that made him and leave on that first VC that I had in your server.
Oh god. Yeah. But yeah, his laugh is like, I remember I wasn't feeling good, and we were in voice chat, and then, like, I was just like, Spartan, can you laugh? And suddenly he actually started laughing. It was just so hilarious. I felt instantly a little bit better.
See, now you know how we feel when you laugh so hard you snort on screen. It's the same principle.
The laugh of a Homestuck fanfiction writer.
Did you just call me that, or did you call him that? I would be legit upset.
Him. He's writing a massive like Homestuck fanfiction.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's on his Instagram a lot.
Yeah, I read his story, but the story time is like a little bit too short in order for me to read it all. That's why I usually skip it. I'm sorry, Spartan, by the way. Love you, dude.
No, you're right. Like, Spartan, no offense, but you like put way too much text up on those stories for anyone to be able to read it in the like 5 seconds or something that Instagram gives you to just look at it. So, I'd say put less text in and more stories.
Yeah,
I guess. But yeah. All right. Well, that was the Metal Ear podcast, and we're actually going to end it on a like non-abrupt way in the recording because I have nothing to just like point blank stop at other than can I ban Spartan, and I don't think that'll be as impactful as I like. So, I would like to thank our guest for this week, AnnaHighwind. You can find her on www.twitch.tv/AnnaHighwind.
Wait.
The link will be in the description as well.
Wait.
To follow.
I'm glad you did that already, because you wouldn't have done it after this. Would you do me one favor?
What?
Would you let me tell you the bean joke? Come on, everyone wants to hear it. Everyone wants to hear it.
Exclamation
Fine.
point beans.
But only if you can keep up the tradition without us having to remind you for future episodes when you're on that you have to tell it at least once in every single episode you're on.
Of course. I love the bean joke.
We cannot remind you ever. You have to remind yourself all on your own.
Sealion. Okay, I have the bean joke always on my mind. Don't you worry. I'll like legit. I love the bean joke. I will do it. Okay, guys.
All right.
Guys.
To send us, hold on. Whilst we're doing like a little plug, kind of a shill sort of thing. Trip, where can the people find you?
Probably in a graveyard.
No!
Because I don't think I'm going to make it through fucking uni. But when I'm not being fucking worked to death by shitty lecturers, I am on Twitch at twitch.tv/MajorTripHazard. And I'm also on Twitter if you want to see my shit posts about 76 and Magic. I talk a lot about Magic. At Twitter at MJRTripHazard because Major was already taken. Sad face.
No.
Sad face. They got me.
If you want to see me post a Yu-Gi-Oh meme that for some reason blew the fuck up.
That was great.
You can find me on Twitter at super_Sealion. You can find me on my Twitch at twitch.tv/Sealion_live. And if you want to find my YouTube, well, tough shit, you're already on it. If you're listening to this. You fell for my trap card. There we go.
But by the way, if you happen to join in on his stream, yeah, you should definitely try to shout him out in his own chat.
Oh yeah,
no, don't do that. Only
Absolutely.
mods can shout out people, and that means I have the easiest job of narrowing it down. Whoever the hell is shouting me out in my own fucking chat, you guys. Really, really like it when you do that. Really like it when you make me look like a total knob of like my own fucking URL.
You do a good job of that
my
yourself.
own stream, which is already my own fucking URL. Thank you.
I love it.
You don't need us to make you look like a knob, Sealion.
I know, but like you're not helping.
All right. Are you guys ready?
To play us out is AnnaHighwind with an infamous bean joke.
Do you guys want the vanilla one or the one with lore?
Just tell the fucking joke.
So guys, there was this one time